I don't want to go first anymore, Greg.
Okay, hey, guess what we're going to do? I'm going to check the audio levels where everybody else talks. Lauren, tell us about Sabella. We're going to come around to Allison so she doesn't have to do this one more time. And tell us about Sabella and how she plans to survive one more day in 1933.
Oh, that's so positive of you, Greg. Thanks. Sabella Marie Ives is just a little Southern peach who owns an occult bookstore in Manhattan that she really would like to get back to, Greg. Please and thank you. And she may or may not be a little psychic. I mean, I think we can move on. I think we've progressed to definitely, probably, perhaps psychic. And she's going to get through this with the help of her buddies and maybe that nat 20 that I got last week.
I hope she's psychic, because if not, you have a lot of explaining to do after last.
Yeah, seriously.
What? No, very normal.
Sure. And you sounded great on stream, which is...
I usually do.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm not psychic, but I know I like that whenever I can actually hear people on stream. And OBS isn't trying to do whatever it likes to do to me live on Sundays. Thank you very much. Steve, Dwight, he's going to be dead soon. How would you like to say goodbye?
Dwight ain't going to die. I play Dwight Burke, killer with a gun. I hope everybody's having a great time. My camera's going crazy. Merry Christmas to everybody, and I'm looking forward to having some fun here.
All right. Well, with that Merry Christmas statement, that might give you or buy you a few more minutes. We're not sure, but we'll see. Strider, Mr. Sawyer, he'll be dead soon. What would anybody say about him or General Chrysanthemum at the eulogy?
Elijah Sawyer is very good at talking to people. But if there's one thing he's better at than convincing people, it's convincing himself. So he knows he'll be just fine. And hopefully, he's good at convincing chat to give him nat 20s as well. We shall see. Hint, hint.
Chat, listen to everything he said except for the end, because that ain't going to help him today. Let's skip around to our newest member, the mystery German doctor, played by our very own Lindy. Lindy, Greta. She was here, but she'll soon be gone. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's only way I'll be gone if I am going back to the United States. I am fine leaving Bolivia behind. Well, Greta von Kraus is a German doctor, a scientist, specifying, that's not the right word, specializing in biochemistry, bioengineering, all sorts of basically body sciences. Goes really well with her doctor's degree. And she was once a Nazi, now attempting to defect to the United States. But we shall see how that goes with this intrepid group of people who kind of freak her out a little bit because they're just very American, let's say.
No,
their friendliness.
They're so very American.
Yeah.
Okay, so with your very odd American friends, we will see if Greta gets out of Bolivia. But as everything usually works in this show, we always like to come back to front. Allison, give it to me. Kate, you had some great... You worked the mic there, and
Hello.
I had the mic silent.
Hello.
It's
Is this
on.
thing on?
It's on.
Hello. Can they hear me?
1933. She's almost dead.
All right. Hey, everybody. It's Allison. I am playing Kate O'Callahan, aviatrix extraordinaire, princess of the skies, America's flying sweetheart. And she's going to spend her last few moments in 1933 sending a little message to the boys at the Ministry of the Occult back there in Berlin. Now, cover up your ears. Parents out there, cover up those kids' ears. Ready? Fuck all y'all. Bring it. We are ready. Let's go.
Excellent. I wanted to make sure that any ministry members that may be listening would hear that terrible taunt. And,
the views and opinions expressed by Allison do not necessarily reflect those of the rest of the cast.
They do, though. Everybody, all of us. I was speaking for everybody there.
The Americans do not speak for me.
Yeah, we totally do.
Right.
We totally do.
Bitte, nein.
Awesome. Even though it took us 3 tries, I'm glad that got out. The gauntlet has been thrown. It has been dropped. We will see how that plays out, I'm assuming, in 2018. But now to bring it all back in, we want to make sure that we get into this show because boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to do. But the number one thing we have to do is to let everybody know that when we reach our follower and or retweet tier, chat will be able to have a viewer decision, which will basically be to award one of these 5 fine people a critical success, which would be an automatic success on anything that I may ask them to do or they wish to do. So keep that in mind. Any other ways that you would like to donate to affect the show, please look straight down and you will be able to see past Lindy, and you will be able to see those in the donate section. You can award advantages, critical successes, if you are a member of the Ministry of the Occult or a friend of such group. You can award critical failures and boss monsters and great things like that. But of course we won't think about that because there is way too much to do this evening. That could very well kill them without outside influence. Now, to make sure that we go back and briefly recap what happened last time, what you really need to know to get to this point is the team is currently in Bolivia. They intercepted a communique from Berlin that said that the Nazis had put forward and put assets into play in Bolivia to secure an item known as the Tyrannish. Knowing little more than that, the group went to Bolivia, where their objective was to get there before the larger Nazi force, recover the Tyrannish, and return to New York in the hopes of A, thwarting Hitler's plan, and B, perhaps using this power or this item that it may hold as a weapon against Hitler. So in doing that, they are currently in Bolivia, where after having been ambushed by a sniper and 6 ensorcelled Bolivian troops, they survived that. They met one Dr. Greta von Kraus, who displayed immediately her weird science. And with the absence of Anthony Michael Hall, she was able to melt somebody in front of them. But she said that was something else. It was rapid atrophy. She has a different definition of the medicinal arts, and perhaps we'll see some more of that going on tonight. The party ended their exploits in Bolivia last week by identifying a flight pod, which is a unique device that the Nazis have created through their weird science to get from one point of the globe to another. If you would like a detailed description of that, please check out Greta von Kraus's episode 0, which can be found on our YouTube channel, which should be right there. Anywho, as we peel back, we find the group surrounding the body of the pilot of the flight pod. The crash had exposed several pieces of material. They had found a brick of green crystal, which was identified as the fuel source. They had murdered a monkey. The monkey was in possession of a bit of tech from the pod. It turned out that this bit of tech was actually some type of projectile weapon that is now in the clutches and equipped by one Cato Callahan. It seemed drawn to her for reasons of perhaps a prior encounter. But as everyone was sitting around and they decided to identify, examine, and perhaps perform an autopsy on the body of the fallen pilot of the flight pod, they removed the helmet only to reveal the face of one Joseph Dietrich, the SS commander that they have met in Bolivia, that Greta has met somewhere else, and that they also saw aboard the USS Akron in New York. And here he lies, dead. So, kids, just before we go back into all of this, as promised last week, and as ignored by 2 of you, I would like Sabella and Kate to roll that sanity check.
What? I definitely did it.
I totally did. I'm sure.
Also, Strider and Lindy, you each have nat 20s given to you by Grant, who is a subscriber.
Ba-bam!
So glad, Grant.
There's a first time for everything, Miss Ives.
Oh no.
Damn it.
Well, look at that.
I'm not using my nat 20. Oh,
Nice.
I don't feel
Oh, we got a cheer in from Artificer, and I can't read that. Artificer, put that in.
advantage to each Sabella and Kate.
Oh, advantage to Sabella and Kate. Thank you very much, Artificer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Because
Joining the party and bringing gifts with you. Love it, love it. That's only a 1 sanity loss for both of you as you look down on the face, the distended, very dead face of Joseph Dietrich.
I
Now
feel
from-
like this sanity loss is more one of just anger.
Right? Seriously.
Thought I got him. There's more.
Now, from what I know about you Nazis, it would be naive of me to assume that this is a body double, correct?
You were saying something, Herr Sawyer? I'm sorry, this body is just fascinating me.
Well, this looks like a gentleman I shook hands with, but I was under the impression he was alive. How many Herr Dietrichs do you have?
Well, that is an excellent question, Herr Sawyer. I have met, this would make 3 Herr Dietrichs that I have met in my time. I would very much like to know the exact number. It is something I wish to learn.
This is some kind of Aryan copulation, isn't it?
You think they're triplets?
I have 2 theories to this. One is that perhaps this was a social experiment or experiment done by Joseph Mengele. He was very reputed in Germany for working with twins, triplets, quadruplets, etc. Or perhaps we have devised a method for cloning that I have not heard of yet.
Many perfect Aryans. Makes sense to me one way or the other.
I know there have been experiments with cloning done, but, nothing more than sheep.
Do you think it's like made of flesh or something else?
Frau Ives, I do believe this is definitely flesh, and I will do my autopsy on the body.
He looks like a sheep to me.
Excellent. Autopsy time, everybody.
I
will...
believe Herr Burke was my assistant in the autopsy.
Yes, Dwight is helping you because you and Dwight possess something that will...
Great time.
Yeah, will keep you healthy and sane throughout the carving up of somebody.
Yes.
Some other people are
Scalpula.
not protected by such things. I will warn you at this time that that's the warning.
Fine, I will occupy myself doing something else, Greg.
Kate also, she begins to feel a little queasy, and she steps about 3 steps away and turns around toward the jungle and throws up all over the jungle floor.
It's okay, Miss O'Callahan. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right.
I pull out a hanky for her.
Oh.
It's nice. It's like light pink with some, frill on the end.
Miss Ives, I'd hate to dirty that. I'm so sorry. That's so embarrassing.
What do we hope to accomplish carving this body up?
Well, I would like to determine several things. Potentially any implants he might have, perhaps how so many Herr Dietrichs have been created. I do not know. I have not carved up a Herr Dietrich before.
I am jealous of that.
So we could also discover some things about this pod, perhaps as the first signs in case we were to acquire one and travel in it again. Maybe some warning signs, just anything that we could learn, really. Perhaps weaknesses to future Herr Dietrichs.
I could help you with that after you're done with the cutting and the slicing. Maybe when you've covered him up, I can help.
We
Tell you
have
what.
clothes too.
Let me take a look at that pod then. I think I might be able to learn something more about it.
For the autopsy, which will be a field autopsy, obviously, there's not a whole lot you can do.
I only
here.
have my medical equipment with me.
Hey, I'll do a spot hidden to make sure nothing's coming up on us real fast, Greg. Is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead and roll that. And I need a medicine check from the doctor. And just so you know as well, Greta, you do have the equipment in the bag of one deceased Dr. Arturo Ursini. So not much else is in there. You haven't had a chance to examine it yet, but you do have that. Dwight, you do not see anything else other than the crying monkey that was mentioned at the end of last episode. Still very distraught.
I shoot it.
Don't you dare.
It accepts its death. It is.
No.
It is.
Goodbye, monkey family. All right, so a
I'm just
medicine
worried
check.
about the noise, Mr. Burke.
Okay.
It's have to be a hard roll.
Okay, I want you.
That is a hard success. What you learn about the autopsy is the following. Obviously, you don't have any way to test for
No,
blood
I will
types or
take
anything like that.
samples if possible.
Sure, I was going to say you're able to take spinal fluid. You're able to take blood, obviously. You can take, liver portions if you would like. You have enough sample trays for that.
Okay.
Medicine check wise, just from the briefest of examinations, this is all taking about 30 minutes. Once you just kind of cut in and do like the Y cut and everything, you realize that if you had to kind of guess what the cause of death was, it was not the crash that killed this Dietrich.
That's the depressurization.
It was
or the
asphyxiation. Yeah.
Asphyxiation. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it seems he died of asphyxiation. Can I get a little bit of like the brain as well to test for chemicals in there?
Yeah. You have enough equipment to pry that open. So yeah, go ahead.
And if not, we have a shotgun, but I'm not so very picky about how we
Look at
get
David Carradine.
all cracked open.
Right. Kate and let's see. Kate, Elijah, and Sabella. Even though you're not looking, you hear what sounds like somebody prying open a watermelon. It has that sucking sound and that kind of that hollow give to it. That and
Interesting.
Yummy.
Right. So, yes, you've accumulated all these samples, and 30 to 45 minutes has passed, and you have a very mutilated Joseph
Were there
Dietrich in
any
front of you.
abnormalities about him at all?
None that you could see. Like, there's
Okay.
nothing physically that seems, other than the
Okay.
fact that he had broken bones and.
Yeah,
know.
okay. That is interesting enough.
Greg, you said we had an extra pair of clothes, Nazi officer clothes, right?
You do. You have Herr Dietrich.
Dietrichs.
I'm going to make myself up to be Dietrich during that 30-45 minutes that they're prying the body apart.
Excellent. What I want you to do is roll two things for me. I'd like you to roll a disguise roll, and I'd like you to roll a fortune roll. If we're lucky enough on the fortune roll, it might be a perfect fit.
Oh. I have a bonus die on disguise. Do you want me to just roll 2 rolls?
Yes, sir.
Since roll 20.
Right.
It is a success on the luck roll. And disguise. Oh boy.
Okay, well, how that works is that, because the luck roll was a success, it fits rather well. A little tight through the shoulders and the crotch area, but, he must have had that taken in a bit. So as you are sitting there and kind of testing it out, if you're trying to make yourself look more like Dietrich, it failed. But you do look like an SS officer.
Perfect. All those Bolivian soldiers will know that this is a Nazi uniform, but I don't think they're going to be IDing me. They look mighty terrified of these Nazis, in fact.
How many? I asked Strider, or asked Elijah. How many Nazis do you think are running around right now?
Well, we've seen the one, and we're expecting the second. Miss Greta, how many Nazis are running around?
Dr. Von Krass.
She's she kind of gives a little nod to Sabella. Like, I unfortunately was not very long at the camp before I had to come rapidly disintegrate someone's muscles that was pointing a machine gun at you all.
Yeah.
There were 3 that I knew of for sure, and now there are 2 that I know of for sure. There could be more. I know Herr Dietrich was planning on informing me more about the operations that were going on at the camp over some dinner, but I am here with you all currently.
Well, what time was dinner?
The evening?
What time is it now?
Kate takes a quick peek at her chronometer on her wrist and says, "It's about 4:30 local time."
Well,
And
that's
as-
good.
And as all of this has been going on, Kate has been kind of continuing her research on this rad pod, as she likes to call it, uh, right up until the point at which Mr. Sawyer began stripping down in order to put that Nazi uniform on, at which point she might have been slightly distracted for at least a moment, assuming that he was doing so in a place that was visible. And as soon as she noticed anybody had noticed, she immediately went back to working on those electronics.
It's part of his spell.
Excellent. Make me one more. Let's do a mechanical roll for Kate, just to see if she can glean anything else from the wreckage.
All right, and as with electrical, I automatically get either a reduced difficulty or advantage on these.
Correct.
Seriously.
Well, I'll tell you this. You know enough or you learn enough that if you think you got a hold of one of these that was intact, you might have a better chance at understanding it in the future. But it's just too destroyed right now. You kind of you're following like a trail and you think, "Oh, I think this might be part of this system," and then you can't find where that part had broken off. So
She's probably just too distracted, honestly.
Right.
Nice job there, by the way, Elijah.
I
Yes.
swear we are all a lot better at doing the things we're good at doing
Yeah.
than it seems.
Well, everyone, now, I don't know if I informed y'all of all this, but the albino man, I look at
Herr
Dr.
Gruber.
Von. Yes, Herr Gruber. That was the one who shot at you in Casa Vieja, huh, Mr. Berg? Yes, that gentleman.
You saw that? Someone did shoot at me, but I don't know who it was.
Oh, it was Herr Gruber. I
Gruber
saw
did.
him. Yeah, he was up in a bell tower. But he
And
missed you. Good job.
Who is Herr Gruber?
Oh, he's an albino man who shot at you, and he's the one who shot at us here. And now he is headed back to the site of the battle. But I don't know if he'll go there now that he, completely failed in his mission. So I don't know if we want to intercept him, maybe, or if we just want to let him sneak up on us later.
Besides, how did you glean all that information?
Research.
Is that what you were
Yes,
doing
remember
when
all
you
that-
were rolling around naked on the map?
That's what I was gonna say. That is one hell of a type of research.
What? I thought you had gone off into the trees. She gets really uncomfortable and she crosses her arms.
Oh no, I did not spy a thing. I would not want to. But
Rude.
you were also making quite the noise.
He was with me,
Sabella.
besides. We were quite far away.
I was not loud. I can be very. Yeah. Well, what do y'all want to do about it? That's the important thing is what you want to do with this information. I'm not looking at anyone in the eye. I'm just looking at this map. Isn't this fun?
How did you get all that information from touching a map?
I mean, maybe Jack tells me things and he doesn't tell the rest of you.
He
Mr.
touched you through
Dietrich's
the map.
Mr. Dietrich got a lot of information about me just from touching my hand. I'm
Yes,
sure these
no one let Dietrich touch it. Dr. Von Krause, don't let him touch it anywhere. But I do
I'm
like
sh-
this idea of dinner. I'm getting peckish. Yes, Mr.
these
Sawyer?
Olympian type folks like touching.
You're saying he can glean information from touching.
Oh, yes, definitely. Just a whole spoonful.
So if he touches her, then he could glean information that she has been with us.
Yes, but he has not
precisely.
touched her. He has not touched her. I saw, she
I
said
do
it.
not like people touching me.
I got that sense from you when I
You may not
touched
be able
you.
to stop him from
Yeah.
touching you.
I have ways. And I kind of just pat my syringe, my hypo syringe.
Right.
Kate pulls her head up out of the wreckage of the pod and says, Y'all, it's getting on. It's getting on with the day. I think we need to make some decisions about what we're gonna do for the night. Now, Dr. Von Krause, are you planning on going back to the camp?
I plan on doing what is best to help the Olympians. That is what you are calling yourselves, yeah?
We didn't pick it.
Ah, it's good. That relieves me a bit. It was very cliche.
How
Dr.
dare
Greta,
you.
make sure you keep talking. I want to get that accent down. Perfect.
You wish to know the Munich,
Yeah, just
the
like
local
that.
Munich dialect of German?
Yeah, keep that up.
Would you like me now? I don't know if this is even possible, but if you're all done with that Dietrich, I could try to glean information in my own way. Oh, that sounds super sketchy.
Are you going? I do not recommend rolling around this body
No,
state that it is. Currently, it is a bit flayed out. There are.
No, I was just gonna, close my eyes and just like touch his forehead. Is that still there, or is it all gooey?
Well, I did crack it open to take some brain tissue samples. It's actually I don't know how American school systems work, but when you go into
Not very
grade
well.
school
What about
and you
his
dissect
clothing?
the frog, and you completely open it up, and it's made out like
The
flat
suit
like a
is
sheet.
wearing.
Kate turns around, runs about 3 steps away, and throws up again.
Oh, alrighty.
She have a light stomach. I have something I could prescribe for that, and I pull out like.
Could you?
It's just a body.
Yes.
We are all basically just sacks of meat and flesh.
Great.
And bone and,
Could you just, if I close my eyes, could you just guide me over there and help me touch something that is still intact?
Yeah, just give her a hand.
well, the hand's mostly intact. Yeah, I only dissected the left one thoroughly. I did cut open the right one so to make sure there weren't any
Ray
abnormalities.
walks over and chops off a hand.
That's not, I don't think that, I'm not touching that.
Herr Burke, you are very efficient. I think I will get along well with you.
Right.
It just makes it easier.
Thank you.
For whom?
Now, I do know that this Dietrich was supposed to be meeting with Dietrich number 3, and he may not be privy to the same information that the current Dietrich has.
I think the main thing I want to know is maybe there's some information in there about shorthand or exactly when Mr. What do we call him? Elf lover? Alvensleben.
Oh, Herr Alvensleben.
Yes.
How about how many of them are there of him? There's like 1,000.
Right. I mean, he could know up to a certain point, and if any of that information is still floating around in there, I might
Well,
be
here is
able-
your hand. Get to work if you are going to do it.
Okay. Closing my eyes, Greg. Closing my eyes.
Oh, also, Herr Burke, could you perhaps scatter the body a bit? It is very clean cuts right now, and I would much appreciate it to look like an animal ravaged him instead, in case the Nazis do find this location.
Of course, we could always just blow it up.
Ooh.
That would be a waste of resources.
It might be a nice distraction, though, if we left this area.
To recap the last 10 minutes, we have had 2 of the party members get naked. One of them rolled around with a map. One of them rolled around and put on a Nazi uniform. One of them sifted through the rubble watching the other put on a Nazi uniform. 2 of them performed an autopsy. One butchered a hand off of it. And now we are ending this little scenario. You efficiently butchered a hand off of it. And we are ending this with the same one that started it all by getting naked with the map, touching the severed hand of Herr Dietrich.
This is
Don't forget the
entertainment.
vomit.
And
There's
vomit.
also vomit.
There was vomit.
Yes.
There was vomit as well. And a sad
It's your
monkey.
it's your game, dude. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Don't
Okay.
judge us.
Seriously.
Okay, So this is how it's going to happen. As everybody else kind of pulls back, and as Sabella takes this hand, has her eyes closed the entire time, and it's rested, you can feel the inanimate, the cold digits in your hand of something that is both familiar and, because of the rigidity of the rigor mortis setting in, is also very alien. And as you touch it, this is the first time that you've tried to read something that was previously alive and sentient. I mean, you're never really sure about, exactly how plant life reacts to this, being trees to paper and things like that. But this seems to be more of an intimate process of a formerly living sentient being, now an inanimate, presumably non-sentient item. And as you have your eyes closed and as you begin to go into this item now that is in your hand, nothing seems to happen at first. Roll me a power roll, and I'm going to keep going while you're doing that. As you're kind of reaching further into it, you start to see things. You see Dietrich, and he's standing in a field of just white light, like a photographer's rendering capturing the wrong moment of a sun ray, where only the object that is in precise focus appears and everything else seems to be haloed. And you see Herr Dietrich standing in the resplendent, villainous yet handsome stature that he holds. And then you see another. And as each of these Dietrichs kind of turn out of the glow, out of the glare of this lens flare, of this starburst focus, there's a field of them. All of them turn as one. All of their eyes turn and look at you, and they smile. And you feel the hand in yours grip your fingers. Its cold digits start to squeeze your hand. I need you to make a sanity roll at disadvantage for me, please.
Can we knock it off of her?
So
You don't
damn wrong.
see this.
I'm busy. Can I cancel the disadvantage with my advantage?
Sure, yeah. If you want to use that and burn that, that's perfectly fine with me.
No, screw you. Already a fail. Fail versus a hard. So fail.
Okay, so you did not use your advantage and you went ahead and took it.
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie.
God.
That's my girl.
So as you feel the hand squeeze around yours, it produces such a shock to your system. You see all of these figures look, and they're smiling, and they all start to talk at once. It's almost as if they're giving you all the information you want, but they're all giving it to you at the same time. And instead of being able to decipher or glean the information that you're trying to seek and read from this hand, it's almost as if these Dietrichs know exactly what to do to acquiesce to your psychic demands while at the same time attacking your mind. And as you are barraged by these bits of information and consonants and syllabic sounds that are all coming at a disjointed cacophony, you drop the hand and grab your head and literally collapse to the ground. And as the hand leaves yours and the ringing kind of pierces between and reverberates in your skull, you see all the Dietrichs kind of phase back in, even though you're no longer holding this hand. You see them phase back in until only one of them's left. And it sits and it looks around as if examining where it is. And it looks and leans closer and says, maybe I'll stay here for a while. And your eyes open up.
God damn it.
Oops.
I wanted to, while she was doing that, I wanted to be studying her, especially her facial features, intently, see if I can figure out how this works in a physical sense.
The whole sequence of events was very, very quick for everybody out there, maybe 10, 15 seconds. It felt much, much longer for Sabella, to the point where it was an hour or two. You know, she's covered in that flop sweat that she usually gets, but here in the jungle, as opposed to on the USS Akron, it's not nearly as bad environmentally or health-wise as it was. But you know, it seems that she was fine. She was serene, and then she was on the ground.
As soon as she fell, Kate would have rushed up and been right by her
Yeah,
side.
I would have been next to him. Big. How can I help your medical needs?
You can't.
Greta, you can actually see in her throat, you can see her carotid artery just boom, 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 as her pulse must be very elevated.
If you do not calm down, you will have a heart attack.
Well, that might be better for you all because I'm super compromised. Nope, don't worry about it.
Deep breaths.
What the hell was that?
Exhale.
Doctor,
Stop trying to calm me down. It's bad. It's real bad. That was real stupid.
Doctor, I think we can take care of that later. We need to go. We need to get out of here and get to someplace safe, or as safe as we can make it now.
Y'all might just have to get away from me now.
We're not going to leave you.
No, you really should though, because there's lots of them and they know where we are because I'm an idiot.
But do they all know, or is this just one know?
Well, there are many of them, and I don't know if it was just some defense mechanism or if they all share a brain. Well, no, they couldn't because this
They do not share a brain because I've had to transmit some information from one Dietrich to another upon my arrival.
Well, one definitely does, and he'll communicate to the one that's here if it's not that one. So
with
we
a busted radio.
That's true.
Miss Sabella, you heard Soldier Boy.
Hey.
Heroes don't leave friends behind. Get your ass up. We gotta go.
You don't see anything, Dwight, as you're scanning the horizon or scanning the area around you, but maybe a half mile off, you see a flight of birds erupt into the air just above the canopy. And the only reason you can see this is it's one of the trees that had collapsed from the down flight pod.
Something's coming. We do definitely have to move now.
Which direction is that coming from?
It's coming from almost due south, back towards the river station, which is very much farther away than that, but it's in that direction. I will kind of give you guys some meta information. You were privy to the fact that there was the battle, the site of the battle that seemed to have also been the target of both Dietrichs and Gruber. Whenever you glean that information from the map, and it seems that that was the focus of at least where to start. And Jack told you that as well.
Yeah, so we're staying as far away from there as possible, right? Right, y'all? Good. Anywhere that Greg wants us to go, we just need to stay as far away from there as possible. Sorry to go meta on you, but it's just what I'm feeling right now.
I am actually trying to help in this instance, but don't listen to me. I'm just here to set the stage.
We just need to go. Let's head away from where the birds are flying from, and we'll head down the river, and then circle back around if we have to.
That's the smartest thing that's been said all day. I agree. Let's do it.
Okay, so what's the target is to like head south and kind of loop around. Let's
the exact opposite direction of wherever this thing's coming from.
Yeah, whatever's coming at us, we're not going towards it. That's for sure.
Okay, so you want to go north, back up towards the village, and then what? Head towards the river to go across, like you're heading towards the ford.
Look at the map, and we can all decide.
Yes, and I will pop up the map for anybody that would like to see it. Force map, boom. So you guys want to, you're slightly southwest of the aid camp right now, so you guys want to head north and head towards the ford. Is that what you're saying?
I think that heading away from whatever you thought is not a bad plan. Bad plan. And if you like, I could still try to go into the camp and glean information before we are compromised further. So right now, that district is, as far as I know, isolated from contact with the dead radio. That I know how to fix, but he does not.
Let's move north, and then we'll, in my opinion, let's move north, and we will. Then we can convene a plan because we don't even know if he knows that you're with us now. That could be, setting you up for failure, big time.
Sabella's not talking.
Lead the way, Eagle Eyes. I'm right behind you.
Can I have a marching order, please?
Start taking us.
Yeah, what direction are you leading us now?
North, right?
Yeah, north, away from wherever birds are coming from, and we know that they're coming at us. Would be my suggestion. Anywhere we don't know the terrain at all, so we have no clue exactly where we're going, except for the map that we're going to maybe go above the ford and then down into the ruins. That would be my suggestion.
Right, Greta could tell you because she pinpointed on her flight in where the crash site was.
So I can be like, I can guide a little bit.
Yeah, she would know if provided the map that you all have, she would be able to tell you that you were roughly, a mile southwest of the aid camp and that you're relatively close to the ford going across the river, which would almost be kind of due north to your position, a little northwest. But that marching order?
So we're adjacent with the camp itself?
You're a little southwest of the camp. That marching order?
We're about a mile out. Yeah, marching order.
I think that Eagle Eyes is going to take up the lead, and then I will take up the back end.
Okay, that's what we'll do. Do you want to go up around the ford and go back down, and then we'll maybe cross over the river at a smaller spot, and then down into wherever the ruins may be? Or anywhere we can get to where you can make a plan away from here.
Yeah.
Would be my suggestion.
Okay, so I've got Dwight at front, Elijah in the back, and I have spots 2, 3, and 4 open.
Yeah, pause. I don't like the way Greg's smiling right now. So
I will take spot number 3.
why
Kate should be in the middle? She's the hurt one.
She should be in the middle. I will take spot number 4. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so someone just let me know again why it is that we're moving right into the middle of the terrible stuff here.
I have no idea.
That seems like
coming from the south.
Yeah,
terrible stuff's coming from that way, and we're moving away from it. We can figure out the rest of it as we get there.
Yeah,
you're a pilot, Miss Kate.
Well,
you know the seat of the pants feel, right?
Mr.
That's
Sawyer.
a pilot term.
We're not going up. We're not going toward the aid camp. We're going to go up around. We're just going to we'll follow the river up. If we're southwest of it, we're not going to have a choice.
We are running this on intuition, much like a pilot, Miss Kate.
Mr. Sawyer, you don't know anything about flying planes. All right.
I think you'd be surprised.
Roll a persuasion check, Elijah.
Wait, is this like a
contested? Maybe.
Okay, 1 sec. Roll 20 sucks.
I am not okay with this.
We need to move, is what all I say.
Then someone start walking.
God damn
Oh
it.
my God.
Well, that is literally the best roll in the game.
God damn it.
Kate, you don't know what it is, but when he says you'd be surprised, even though there's a gleam in his eye and a smirk on his lip, you believe him. And for a moment, it kind of takes you back. And it's not that you're stunned so much as you just don't know what you should be saying. And maybe it's flashes of a bare ass sliding into Nazi pants, or the look that this guy is giving you right now and the way that he is confidently saying that he may or may not be a pilot. You lost your train of thought. So group, what would you like to do? Kate, I'm afraid that you aren't in a position to add much right now.
Kate tightens her grip on her new little toy and takes Miss Ives by the arm.
Miss O'Callahan, I do not want to put us in danger right now. Believe me, trust me. We need to get away from whatever's coming at us, and then we can regroup and make a plan. I promise.
We're all looking out for your best interest, Kate.
And falls in line.
Okay, so you guys are heading north. Dwight, as you are taking them through the jungle that you've started to get used to from being in country in a lot of different places, you are the first to kind of spot by your proximity and by your just
Hey, can I just
veteran.
be clear? But I don't mean to interrupt you, sir.
Uh-huh.
But the spot hidden, of course, the whole way. You know this.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, but I'm going with the one that you hit. You hit a hard one, so I'll be able to. I'm carrying that through this little process to kind of speed it up. You hear the river, and in a moment, you get to an area that is very beaten down, and you can tell that there has been a pretty sizable amount of traffic over this area. And just with a quick glance at the map itself, you realize that you have seen, and the fact that there are vehicle and boot tracks through here, you can tell that this must be the ford that they have depicted on the map, which would mean that just on the opposite side of the bank, you see a clearing, and you can just make out the kind of silhouetted shapes of 2, perhaps 3 trucks.
Driving up the ford or driving on the other side of the ford?
They appear to be abandoned.
Oh, they're abandoned.
How far away? Is that thing still following us, Eagle Eyes?
How far away did you say, Mr. Stangan?
Just on the other side of the river. So literally maybe 50 yards from you guys, you can start seeing these abandoned trucks. And someone roll a natural world check for me. I will take this from anybody. Just let me know if anybody gets a success.
Soldier Boy, do you think that thing's still following us?
I would have to make can I tell with the spot hidden if we're still getting followed, or we think that was just something coming up on us and they don't know where we went?
You do not see anything else. Let's see. Miss Ives, you are 3 away from a success there, if you wish to.
What are we trying to do?
You're going to get information about the surrounding area based on a successful roll. So
I don't think I'd like any.
Okay. No additional information then, as you guys are standing on the opposite side of the bank. And with the spot hidden roll that you just made, Mr. Burke, you do not see anything coming from the direction that you just left. It seems you're all clear at this point.
Well, my question is, we see abandoned vehicles, but we'd have to go any closer to see if there's how far away, how long they've been abandoned, in my opinion. You know, I tell the group, of course, there's 3 vehicles down there and no one's around them, but
3 that you can see. Correct.
As I'm looking at the ford, the first thing I'm curious to know is whether there's enough draft and width to the river and enough approach that potentially the ugly duckling could land here if necessary.
No, it's too shallow for that type of approach. Plus, it doesn't take you but a second to realize that the canopy wouldn't permit, even with your level of flying, you wouldn't be able to touch down or have enough runway to slow her down when she came in, and it would in all likelihood tear the bottom off of her or one of the flotilla pylons.
Okay.
So you guys, it appears.
Yep, go ahead.
We are safe for the moment, but now we need to look towards the future. Where is it we are planning on going?
We need to find the safest place to get across the river, in my opinion.
Now we need to look toward the future? This is the time we need to look toward the future.
Yes, now that you're safe, Ms. Callahan. Certainly.
I think we should leave.
Leave as in leave the Bolivia period?
Yep. Yes. Or I should head back to Mr. Shapiro.
Kate turns to Sabella. Wait, why are you saying that?
Because I am compromised. I think that if it was one or all, it doesn't really matter, because I think Unless it was, I don't know if it was a scare tactic or what it was, but I think he might still be in there. So I think I should head back.
Can we desert if we're compromised? Because he touched my hand, and I also would like to leave.
Well, Kate seems very troubled for a moment and then says, well, Sabella, whatever you need to do, I'm going with you.
Greta has appeared deep in thought while y'all are talking. But can we leave? Can we leave? I'm just not feeling this. And she will kind of a bit reluctantly, not reluctantly, thoughtfully, just very thoughtfully, be like, well, if you would like, I could investigate to see how compromised we are.
Sure.
I have ways of getting information, getting in and out of places. Medical supplies can be used for a variety of effects, as I'm sure you know.
The Nazi is willing to risk her life for us Americans and us Olympians, us the paragons of human achievement, are sitting here on our asses thinking about going home. I'm not sure what that says, but I'm sure that says something.
Now, God damn it, Mr. Sawyer, what the hell are you thinking? We're wounded, we're potentially compromised, and you are leading us right into the middle of whatever entity it is that's guarding that thing. I gotta tell you, Olympian or not, that's the stupidest plan I have ever heard. We need to get away from here and regroup and come back from some kind of position of strength, or let him have this tyrannish, whatever the hell it is, and get back and prepare for the next fight, because I'm not ready to just walk in there and die on the basis of your bullshit.
I would like to remind the heroine of the USS Akron, that this is a time-sensitive matter, and there may not be no here to return to if we don't do this now.
We've all been put in this very bad situation, and I understand that, but we all agreed to this mission.
Yeah, plus he's from the military. If you try to desert, he'll probably shoot you or something.
I won't shoot.
Right. No one.
I gave up on the military a long time ago. And if your decision is to leave, then I respect that. But I fear that staying together is the safest course, finding out what we need to find out, and getting out of here, in reality, may not be an option.
Kate,
they may already see our plane. They may already know we're here. We don't know what they know.
They were coming from the direction of the Ugly Duckling, so that might not even be an option. But Sabella and Kate, come the hell on. You're both a hell of a lot braver than I am, and I'm here. If I can do it, you can too.
It's not exactly about being brave, Mr. Sawyer. It's about not being stupid twice in a row.
This might be a good time for me to remind you that you guys also have a radio.
Yeah, she was kind of just looking around, like, back and forth, back. All right, well, yeah, I know I am the newcomer here, but I feel like we could all benefit from a bit of German efficiency. So, we have wounded people, we have injured people, we have plans that need to be formulated, we have information we need to get, people we need to contact. I see you all have a portable radio. We can find someplace safe along the riverbank, someplace more hidden perhaps from the temple. Stay here, rest up. I can give you all some medicines. You can set up the radio, contact Herr Shapiro, I can go see if you're compromised or not. Come back. Maybe a plan will be had then. We have 2 days before Herr Abelschlieben comes here, and we can get the tyrannish tomorrow after more medical attention is received.
I'm going to sneak down and check out these trucks. I'm going to try to get across the river and see what I can see from the vehicles, and see if there's anybody around us in any situation, how far away they are, see what we got down there. I've got a pretty good sneak, so I'm going to head down there and try to check out anything I can check out.
I'll keep
We
an
might
eye on
set
it from up
camp right
here
there.
Und
while everyone
Camp.
else can set up the radio.
Yeah, Greta will just start setting up the radio for them and be like, just
I'll head down to the vehicle. I'm going to try to get across the road.
Elijah's copying everything you're saying. Yeah, German efficiency.
Is that what's terrible?
Don't cough. Nine.
Okay, so as the makeshift camp is being attended to by our German in training, I'm going to need a stealth roll from Mr. Burke as you attempt to sneak across the river.
Ich liebe Deutschland.
9,
You're
hell.
lucky.
Okay, you're going to take that one luck.
I will.
Somebody move their cameras.
It was an accident. I went to
I know.
unmute and I clicked the wrong button.
It's okay.
OBS got confused. I thought I was the real German now.
Right. And I will show OBS who is boss by putting you guys. Oops.
You were mocking me so much you replaced me.
Boom, boom. Okay, that should be good for now. Alrighty, so Dwight, as you are able to go across the ford, here is what you see. You see maybe a dozen burned out or abandoned vehicles, and you see roughly, and your count is, it's starting to get a little darker here in the jungle at this point because it's 5:30, 5:45. You see a field of corpses. They seem to be wearing two distinct uniforms. One you recognize as the Bolivians. The other one you can only assume is the Paraguayans. And this is the site of the battle that Jack told you about. There are shell casings and shell rounds and disturbed earth everywhere. But what you do notice more than anything else is in the center of this battle, there is what looks like a great cylindrical hole that seems to descend directly into the center of the earth. That guy Thrust, welcome to the party, pal. Thanks for following. That is what you can see.
How wide?
About 75 feet.
I can't tell if it. Can I do a spot hidden to see if anything's around us? Anything of alive potentially? Any movement? Any, besides jungle life?
Yeah, give me a spot hidden. An extreme. Great. You see nothing, but what's very strange about this is you don't see or hear anything. No movement, no sounds, no wildlife of any kind. The sounds of the jungle have vanished or greatly receded into the background. You also notice with that extreme spot hidden that there's something that the good doctor asked you to do back at the crash site to make the body look like it had been ravaged by an animal. And you realize none of these bodies have been ravaged by anything. They are perfectly pristine. They're dead, but they're not gnawed on or pulled apart, or their entrails haven't been eaten by the numerous predators that would have descended.
No cuts, no nothing on any of them.
Right. If you put out anything in the jungle that could be consumed, it will be consumed very, very quickly. And there are roughly 200 large meals here that are untouched.
So I see no bullet holes, no cause of what I would think how these men died.
Nope. And there's a couple of them close enough to you, and you realize that just by your soldier's eyes, you can tell that these men have been dead for a while.
Wow.
But even the insects have not moved in. There are no maggots. There are no ants. There are no anything.
Now, when I see the cylinder, do I see a temple? Do I see anything other than a field with dead people and a big hole and trucks?
A field, dead people, abandoned vehicles, and a perfectly spherical 75-foot hole. You see no temple.
I'm going to go back and relay the information that I've just learned to the party, and I'm going to say we probably should get the F out of here.
Fine, I will pack the radio backups that I just downloaded and set up.
That was a quick turn of heart, Mr. Burke.
There is a field of dead. They don't have bullet wounds. They don't have cuts. They don't have anything. There is no life down there whatsoever. There is a hole.
Kate just shakes her head and says, God, I hate being right all the time.
I hate you being right now too.
Yeah. I think we're all in that opinion, but you are right, Mr. Callahan.
Greg?
Olympians, what would you like to do?
Greg.
Yes.
While they were busy doing things, I don't know if like meditation is a thing here, but I want to spend that time trying to figure out if anything's still in here or not, and then seeing if I can put up a wall around it.
Which is funny because Greta was going to talk to you while she was setting up the radio, so you're probably just trying to meditate, and Greta's actually trying to initiate a conversation for once.
I sent you some Zoom messages too, Greg.
Oh,
not sure if you saw those.
I did not, because I am busy having fun with let me see. Yep, perfectly fine. Okay, so you're going to do a little meditation?
Yeah.
Why don't you roll a power check for me, Miss Ives?
Bring it, girl.
Success.
That is a normal success, correct?
Mm-hmm. What the guy? I hate this guy so much.
You do a little bit of meditation. You do actually feel yourself begin to calm down. It's not so much meditation as it's kind of like you're doing all of your like personal prep that you would usually do for psychometry. Just kind of calming yourself down and that type of thing. It's not necessarily meditation, but as you get yourself calm, you're not quite sure, but you think you hear a snicker somewhere in the back of your mind.
Stupid.
This is so funny.
Can I stop it? It's not.
It might just be Elijah because he's over there doing that in a German accent too.
That's also true. He is copying.
Okay, then I am. Okay. I don't know what else we're doing. If we end up not moving from this spot, I'm going to keep trying to find where it is and then try to kick it out. That I have nothing else I want to do. Everyone else go.
Okay, how's radio setup go then?
Sure thing. I will tell you how to set up the radio and what roles will be required while this is going on.
I was setting up the radio.
I have one more thing I would need to be done. Yeah. Still nothing, Dwight. And you guys are still on the eastern side of the river, just above the ford, correct? All right. You figure the only thing that you're going to need to do, Doctor, is set the aerial. It's like a box with an antenna with a wire between it. The aerial is going to need to be above the tree line, so I'm going to need someone to make a climb check.
This is not me.
This is not me.
I got a 15
Please
climb.
stop that.
It's important, Doctor. It's for a very
I got a
livelihood.
15 climb.
I never was much fun for the theater.
Yeah, Mr. Burke, if you want to put it up there, that's fine. Okay, Miss Ives, I will let you know
I
this.
fall.
No, you get up there, but it's not pretty. There's a slip. There's there's you take a branch
If you
somewhere you
sustain
don't
any
want to take a
injuries
branch.
with climbing, I can fix them once you get down here.
Look out for angry widowed monkeys.
Right.
I was bit.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. A monkey bit you. You're not sure.
He's back.
Right. Sabella, as you are doing your meditation and you are continuing to reach into your own mind, and you're working at this, and you're trying to find the source of what you believe to be this parasite or this perceived presence in your own mind, you don't necessarily find that, but you do identify that there is some type of sound coming from the direction across the river. It's not audible sound. It's not coming in through your ears. It's almost a psychic wave that's coming across to you. And you're not terrified by this sound at all. It's actually very pleasing. And you're not sure how, but much like psychometry, which just provides you with information, you believe that there is something of benefit to you particularly in this region. You're not sure exactly where, though.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll open my eyes and look around at what everyone else is doing.
They're all there. Dwight's rubbing a monkey bite, but the aerial is in the trees.
Yes, antiseptic for the monkey bite.
Dirty, filthy creatures.
They are very much fierce.
Only dirtier bite is that of a human,
So
according
true.
to my
So true.
biology teacher mom. Okay, so you guys have the radio set up, and it is cued into the
Shapiro.
sister radio at Quentin Shapiro's joint.
I would have made sure of that because I knew those numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I got all the radio digits.
Right. You hear a moment later as the squawk goes through with the telltale trigger of the long note, and then you hear a hello?
Herr Shapiro.
Doctor?
Yeah, it is. I have met up with your Olympians, and I believe they wanted to speak with you.
They're not my Olympians, they're Jack's
Well.
Olympians.
Elijah's shaking his head like, no, you.
Oh, apparently they do not wish to speak with you.
Let's just say we have like mind on that one.
Oh, well, then. What do you want me to say to Herr Shapiro since we are all children here?
Call him a
even-
chubby, broken-legged gimp.
I do not stoop so low.
You are a better person than...
Has he had any visitors?
Herr Shapiro, if you did not hear that, have you had any visitors recently?
No, just Jack's people. I'm all alone here, except for the Franklin boy.
Just
Pleasant
Herr
chap.
Franklin?
Dr. Arturo's dead, Mr. Shapiro.
Arturo's dead? Well, how?
All of them are dead. Seems the Nazis knew we were coming.
Well, the Nazis shouldn't be there.
That's an excellent point. No, they should not. Do you know why Dr. Arturo had so much dynamite, Mr. Shapiro?
I do not know.
Can I see if he's lying?
Sure.
Certainly
Just like the
sounded
sound of
like
voice.
I have no idea.
What is dynamite?
Straight bullshit.
God bless
I have
you.
an 80, and I have failed like 6 of these. I have never gotten
Hope the
lower
rest
than an
of
80.
I have no idea why he was carrying dynamite. He's a physician, not a... that one didn't work either.
It did seem strange for a peacekeeper to be carrying that much
It is not
firepower.
normal physician's equipment. Nine.
Well, maybe with someone like you.
He was an odd duck, but... Arturo was... he had theories on the site where I told him about when I went across the river, and I told him that I saw the ruin, and it scared me, and I heard something coming, and it's where I broke my leg. And I think he might have been trying to
Blow it up?
recreate the act, maybe. I don't know for sure. Arturo was a weird duck.
What did the ruin look like?
Just a big hole. It was like a perfect hole.
Like 75 feet whole.
Like 70,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you, Mr. Sawyer.
Yeah,
How'd
about 75 feet, yeah.
How'd you get down there?
I didn't. I broke my leg before I got there.
On what?
I
So
was
fear of
scared
corpses,
by
perhaps?
something.
What were you scared by, and how did it cause you to break your leg?
I was sitting at the edge of the camp trying to figure out how I was going to get through this field of bodies when I saw these birds fly up out of the side, and I thought, well, there must be something coming because it was oddly quiet there. And so I turned to look, and the trees burst open, and I was so upset I fell down. I heard a very wet snap, realized later that that was my leg.
This is the entrance to, well, can I hear
just-
this? Everybody can hear this on the radio?
I just like him so much better now. I don't know what it is.
That is the entrance to the temple. Mr.
I
Shapiro.
don't know. As far as I know, it's a hole.
Hmm.
I told this to Arturo. He was very interested in it.
He was very interested in holes.
Did we even bring rope?
In your packs that I gave you, you all have flashlights and rope. I don't know if you've looked at them yet, but you haven't, and if you haven't, then there they are.
Oh, he gave us
Yeah,
the
right.
dungeoneering equipment pack. Good sir.
Yes, it was in the Dungeon Master's Guide, and I gave it to you.
I think
You were given equipment and you didn't even look it over?
we're bad at our jobs. Is that not obvious yet, Dr. Von Kraus?
I had suspicions, but I had
Your
hope.
suspicions were accurate.
This is the best America has to offer, okay?
Oh,
This
No.
is
We are the
such a
pinnacle of Americans.
Okay.
Teddy Roosevelt was a hell of a guy.
no wonder America wanted me so much.
All right. What if now there's something do we need him anymore? Can we hang up on him?
What? What do you mean, hang up?
You know what I mean.
I can hear everything you're saying.
That's why I want to hang up. Do we need anything else from Mr. Shapiro? Should we let him get back to nursing his leg?
There's not really much to do. Franklin gets me everything I need.
That's very nice of him. Dr. Von Kress, do we need anything else from this man?
Not that I know of.
Oh, can we,
Shapiro, what
I
do you
can
think our
always
next...
reopen the call as well. I can reopen the radio signal.
What do you think that he said it was safe? I don't know if I trust him. But what should our next move be in your professional opinion? Everyone's dead. We're next to a giant hole in the ground, and there's something probably coming after us because birds in the trees are flying away, and I don't want to break my leg.
Well, I'm not really the best one to ask, but
Well, I know
were
that,
going
but you're the
to-
only one I have to ask.
If I were going to, I don't know, bullet point some notes for you, I would probably go with as follows. What I was told by Jack was that there was something that the Germans were after, that something struck something during the battle between the Paraguayans and the Bolivians, and that is what the Germans were interested in. They believed that it housed something known as the Tyrannisch. That's what I was going.
Tyrannisch killed everyone, left a giant hole in the ground. We gotta go grab it. Okay, got it.
I don't know if that's accurate, but there is. Okay.
I do know that the Nazis were avoiding this entrance because obviously the 200 to 300 corpses in the fields there, they did not want to repeat that.
Right, but I don't. I mean, Mr. Burke, when you were up in that tree, did you see any other entrances besides a big hole? I don't even know what we're looking for. I don't
I
know.
wasn't in a tree. I just saw the hole. Bodies everywhere.
Oh, right.
You still need me.
We
No,
don't
we
need
hang
you.
up.
I would say we hung up with
Close the
him.
I
Like,
will
10 minutes ago.
mute the call.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Shapiro, we'll call you back if we need more of the same information repeated over and over again.
you've been unfriend requested, Shapiro.
Thank you for your help, Herr Shapiro. I will contact you again if necessary.
Please make sure it's only you. You're the only one I care for. The rest of them's people are awful.
We're awful.
Mr.
Okay.
Shapiro has beady eyes. He
All
can't be
right,
trusted.
who cares?
Off
Who
we
cares?
just-
My mother thinks they're beautiful.
Awfully to say, and how Shapiro, I will spare you. So insults. And I end the call.
So, right. Did you see anything else that looked like it was near these markings on the map? Like,
I saw nothing of markings or anything. It's just that hole down there. I mean, we can. He's that could potentially be an entrance.
I have a very good idea, but it is not
What?
going to go over well whatsoever.
just spit it out.
Why don't we send Miss Sabella to roll around with all those dead bodies down there, and then she'll know what happened.
Do not think that is a great plan.
I walk up to him and I try to slap him.
Don't touch me! No.
Don't touch me.
It's not
You
a
have-
light slap.
Roll a melee attack for me.
I can't do that. I'm very weak. What is that? I don't even know what that is.
You have a
Brawl check, I think.
Brawl.
Yep,
Yes, fighting brawl.
right at the bottom.
Thank you.
You
Oh,
have to spend one
so
luck on
close.
that.
Do not touch me.
Spend it. Spend it.
Lock it.
Spend it.
It's up to you.
Spend
Are
it.
you verbally
He's so earned it. Spend it.
No.
It just comes like-
He's a good guy. Don't do that to him.
Don't tell me what to do.
You don't want to be in my mind. Well,
I wasn't trying to. You're just a rude man.
I know. But let's get some of that Deutschland
Oh,
efficiency. Yeah. We need to do something.
It's getting
That
dark.
might give us some answers.
As Sabella steps up and holds the slap, Elijah kind of looks to the left and notices that Kate's got the serpent gun leveled straight at your fucking head, and says,
I don't know why this has escalated so quickly. Is this normal for you, American?
"Mr. Sawyer, I am so
We don't-
very tired of your terrible ideas. Now, what we need to do is skirt around the outside of this area that's delineated on that Nazi map. Stay away from whatever it is that caused that field of death over there and find one of those alternate ways in. But we're all going to die if we stay here and keep arguing about this. I'm done. It's time to go. You're either
What does that mean? The map is a hole, Miss O'Callahan. If you look at the map, the Nazi map is a hole.
Mr. Burke, sir, when's the last time you looked at a damn map?
I'm the one that found the map, ma'am. It is a hole.
That's
and
miles
that's a
wide.
hole over there.
Yeah, that thing, isn't it much bigger?
It's miles wide.
That might be the entrance, though. We have rope.
Mr. Burke, did you look down the hole?
Me and Mr. Sawyer will climb down there. How's that sound, sir?
This sounds like
You
a
ready
I
for
am
that?
all for it. Let's do it right now.
Fine. There's something nice over there, by the way. It's like singing in my head a little. If that makes anyone feel more comforted.
9.
Wait, what?
We'll talk about it later.
I do not think this is a topic for later. If you are already
No, it's
experiencing
like-
early psychosis, this is not a good sign. Perhaps you
No,
should lie
that's-
down a bit. I can give you something to help you sleep.
I mean, that's not a terrible idea. I mean,
It is now getting dark. You guys have several options in front of you. You have the hole. You have the camp. You have the river station back with Franklin Watson and Quentin Shapiro. You have the ability to do what Kate said and skirt this area and attempt to use the Nazi map to search some of the other sectors that you've already identified as sectors, the ones that they have not yet searched. I will let you know, though, that a decision needs to be made because it is getting dark and you have about an hour's worth of light left before you're going to need to try something.
Elijah's going to march over towards the hole. He's going to take a deep breath and take a minute to fortify himself. He's seen dead bodies before in his line of work, crime. But that's a lot, so he's going to take a minute to mentally fortify himself and march straight over there.
Okay. Yeah, as you cross the river, is anybody going with Elijah?
I, of course, go with him.
I will stay here.
Greta-
And since we are all splitting up, do you want me to see if we are compromised?
Oh,
It's not very far from here. Actually, we're really close, aren't we?
yeah. We're by the ford.
And you have the radio already set up. I will tune it into the channel that is necessary, and I will contact you if something goes awry. Yeah? Figure out all this stuff at once. Go, go, go. Get this done. Instead of just... We've been talking for like 3 hours.
I just look back and forth between Greta and Kate.
I think a plan needs to be made.
I mean, that's what we are trying to do.
There are plenty of safe places to stay outside of the perimeter of whatever is in the middle of that thing. Let's get across to the other side of the river.
We are on the other side of the river.
No,
Unless you
you're
would be on
not.
the same
No,
side.
we're not.
Oh, we're on the same side of the river as the whole?
Yeah.
You're on the same side of the river as the camp.
That's what
So
I thought.
you're on the eastern
Yeah.
side of the river. Yeah.
We're
Right.
safer from the hole over here.
Let's get across the other side of the river, get outside of the area that's indicated on this Nazi map, and set up camp for the night.
You can easily do that. It's very delineated. You can see where the battle site is, and then where the rest of the jungle kind of takes over on the outskirts of all this. Greta, are you going to head back to camp?
I think she will, because no one's really made any firm things, and she's like, we need to find out if we're compromised. We need to find out how many there are. If we figure out the shorthand, we could potentially be like, this is obviously where we need to go.
Mr. Burke, give me that. Who's got the map? Who's got the map?
I did.
Sabella has the map.
Miss Ives, may I see the map for just a moment, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. And she takes the map over to Greta. She points to a location that's kind of roughly at that, about 8 o'clock position. Is that about right? Let me take a quick look at roll
The
20.
Cancer sign?
Yeah, hold on.
Yep.
Yeah. So she points at that location and says, Dr. Von Krause, we're going to head this direction, set up camp right about here. All right. So you can do whatever you need to do. We'll set up the radio when we get there. If you need to contact us, you know the frequency.
I do.
Otherwise, you should head out just a little bit before dawn. Be very, very cautious. And
Of course.
and
It
meet
would
us.
not be good for me to get caught. It would be very bad.
Well, I'm less worried about you getting caught by Mr. Dietrich as I am by whatever else might be prowling around in these jungles. Be very
I have a
cautious.
pistol and some bioserums. So
Well, don't you be
Please
hesitant to use it. All
Yeah.
right.
I was going to say, please don't hesitate to melt him.
hesitations can be fatal when you are a doctor. So
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Von Krause, it's been an honor meeting you. I wish you luck, and we'll see you in the morning.
all right. And here is some acetaminophen for both you and Frau Ives, and maybe even Herberg for the bruises you all have sustained within the past.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Hours. Yeah, I've also read the medical tent while I am there. It could come in handy.
I think that's a good idea.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going.
She will head down. She says, stay safe and set up the radio as soon as you get to the camp.
Don't you worry, Doctor.
And as we go, because that's what we're gonna do, I'm trying to like echolocation where that was coming from as we like pass around this section.
Sure, I will allow you to do that when you stop.
Cool.
Because you're going to concentrate a little
Oh,
bit.
sure. Yeah.
Also, Lindy, what I think we're going to do is I will tell everyone this. Greta will return in the morning, but this is going to require some further role play that I think would be perfect for a bonus episode.
Oh
So,
my God.
this will be a
Oh, no.
flashback.
Well, now I'm
That-
scared.
Yeah, this will be a flashback. So Greta will return. I will give you I will say what she has when she comes back, information wise. But the actual process that will be played out will be done so in a bonus episode because I want to spend a little time with this one.
Mm.
So. When you get now, Elijah and Burke, are you guys still going towards the hole? Even are you waiting for them to set up camp and then
No, I
making
just
your?
already marched off without them. I have given the sack of dynamite to Mr. Burke, though.
Okay, so you are on your way to the hole.
Yes.
Um, even though you have steeled yourself for this, I would like you to roll a sanity check regardless because these are
Who
200
saw
corpses.
that coming? Yay! Fumble!
Nice. It's not that bad. 1. So
He's still going off about the ladies. Mr. Burke, certainly you've heard you don't point a gun at something unless you're intending on shooting at it.
Yes, sir. I think we're going to have to get down this hole. I think that is the objective of this all. So we're going to head down there.
Well,
Okay,
I don't know about heading down. I'm going to take a look down there.
This
You
is
guys-
where this is the entrance. Now, if you don't want to go down there, that's fine. But this is where we probably go in.
What do I see just like staring down the hole?
You guys walk up to the hole, and in the fading light, there's still enough sunlight to see down there. You see stairs spiraling down into this hole, and they're hugging the wall. But the middle of the hole, 50 feet of the hole, is just a straight, perfect cylinder shaft that goes down with a spiral of staircase, kind of gripping the side of it.
Elijah's going to check one of the nearby corpses' pockets for ammunition that he's going to push a corpse over the edge to see how far it seems to fall.
From your numerous training, I'm not going to make you make a roll for this. You're going to guess you're looking between 800 feet.
This is definitely the entrance, Mr. Sawyer. If we want to do this, we're going to have to get down this, or we should regroup with the ladies. I don't want to leave them alone.
Oh, they can handle themselves. I'm more worried about us. It is your call, but even with my bullshittery degree, I don't know if I can convince them to come back over here. They did seem rather against the idea.
I mean, I guess they're gonna see us crossing the ford.
Oh, certainly.
You too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is a wide open area, so as soon as Kate and Sabella would cross, Elijah and Dwight can both see them as they kind of skirt south along the edge of the war zone. And it's not a large area. It's a lot faster going than it would be in the jungle. So you guys can make it over to where you want to camp, like right off of that area. It only takes you about 10 minutes, and the guys are still looking down the hole.
Dwight, do we scout it out or do we go back?
I think we should go back and tell them what we know, and then if we make a decision that we want to go down there and scout, Mr. Sawyer, I'm with you. I will go down the hole, but I think that we need to make sure that the ladies are okay, and we can go from there.
You do have flashlights in your packs if you wanted to get down. I mean, they're there.
I will make sure the ladies are okay first, and then we will go and make that decision.
Mr. Sawyer.
I'm going down this hole one way or the other before bedtime. And he will yield to Dwight's suggestion and they can go back to camp. Or at least catch up with them.
Okay.
To tell them that there are stairs, it is man-made. That is certainly a location.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mr. Sawyer. We need to get down there and get this thing and get the hell out of here. That is the mission that we've agreed to do.
Okay, yeah, you guys were able to make it right back to, I mean, they're only 10 feet, 10 minutes across this field. You can relay that information, and I do need a decision now as Greta is out of the picture until morning. What would you guys like to do about the hole?
The ladies would like to run.
Greg, I think the ladies, Caitlin and Sabella, are not for doing what Greg seems to be suggesting. If I need to get
I'm not
meta about
suggesting
it.
anything. Listen, you guys have already done everything I wanted you to do so far.
Yeah, we have.
So, not to get too meta,
Well,
but
Mr. Burke will go down. He's going to go down the steps to see what's down at the bottom, at least.
Fine. Have
You know,
fun.
he
Nice
will-
knowing you, boys.
Adventuring we are a-going.
Yeah, we're going to go.
Ah, nice knowing you, boys.
okay. So
If the ground starts a rumbling, some giant creature catastrophe is coming out, and you two make sure you get yourselves to safety now.
Run to the Nazi camp for safety, guys. It'll be fine.
Okay, so an eagle eye spot of everything. Greta is going back to the Nazi camp, or already there. Kate and Sabella are in camp just to that southwest of the current position. And we have Mr. Burke and Mr. Sawyer beginning the descent into the cylindrical shaft, correct?
Meta-wise, this is so stupid. Yeah, but yeah, that's what's going on.
Let's
Perfect
do it.
idea.
Not just meta-wise.
We've encircled reckless.
Okay. All right. So you guys have been awarded basically any type of spelunking gear that you can think of as part of your packs. You have rope, and you also have the handheld lamps or electric torches that were the original flashlights. They kind of hook with the light that goes forward, so you can hold them like this. They are surprisingly effective, as the formula for them hadn't changed for about 60 years until LEDs came out. But yeah, so you guys have those. You do not need torches. You guys begin to go down the spiraling staircase. And as you all are going down there, or as they are going down there, you are able to, let me turn off my swamp music. It turns something else on. You're able to get down about 100 feet when you realize that there is a section of staircase that has been broken away, and it looks like it's been done so recently. It doesn't take a rocket scientist or a Professor Mueller to realize that whatever broke from the top and came down probably clipped this section of the stairs. It's not that big a jump, but you would have to make a jump or climb check to get across this gap for me. You can give each other advantage if you decide to tie yourselves together.
Yeah, I can't jump or climb, so I'm going to tie a rope around him, and then I'm going to tie a rope around my waist. I'm going to have him do the climbing or jumping, and I'm just going to try to get a firm foot plant on the ground. In case he falls, I can try to catch him.
Before this starts, I want to make sure that I get the map off of Miss Ives in our hands, so if we get down here, we have the map.
Miss Ives, would you have given that to him?
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Well, okay.
Because she's not stupid. just spitballing here.
Because it's
So-
an above-ground map.
Right.
So yes, I mean that Sabella can elect not to give it to him. That's completely.
Oh yeah.
Kate, what do you think? I don't. If he.
I did give you the map.
I don't really care. I
I
just.
don't think we need it if we're underground. If no one cares that much, we'll just have it.
Okay.
Well, now you know what? No, I'm keeping it. You guys go do your.
We're going to be
Blind
underground. It's not going to help us anyway.
Okay. So I need
Can I take a quick scan of the map at least?
Sure. You have scanned it.
A long scan.
Okay. You really look at it.
Yes.
You get 2 eyeballs full of it. Okay, I need you to make a climb roll with advantage for me, sir. Well,
You son of a bitch.
how about a strength check from Elijah?
Good news about Elijah's strength. We all know he's a buff Dude, that got a hard success, huh?
Okay, so you see Dwight get across to the other side, and just when he kind of jumps to clear the last little bit, you see him jerk and fall off the edge, and you're able to pull the rope tight enough to stop his descent, and he's able to grab hold of the opposite side. You have saved him from falling and taking you with him. Now that the rope is across, though, I will allow you guys to string it up so you can basically have a bar across the area to get back and forth from. So no further rolls for this area. I will let you know, though, that meta-wise, that was a good roll.
Thank
Mr.
God.
Sawyer.
Thank you, Mr. Sawyer.
Mr. Burke, have you ever considered going on a diet? I'm not, not used to dangling army men, actually.
Right.
What do we see as we
You're
descend lower?
stronger than you look, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so
Apparently,
you guys...
I didn't know I was.
You guys get farther and farther down the spiral. The rest of the staircase is completely intact. As you get down to the bottom, maybe 20 to 30 feet before you hit the absolute bottom of the chamber, you start seeing pieces of what looks like, from the chunks that you can see, a capstone of sorts. And it looks as if it were 75 feet across and probably fit directly on top of the cylinder. It's shattered at this point. There are large enough sections to kind of glean its original shape. But what catches your eye more than anything else, there are murals down here. They're everywhere. They depict what looks like some form of ancient civilization. You see iconography heavily influenced by snakes and serpents. If you take some time to study this, you believe that you may be able to find some interesting information. Other than these murals down here, there's nothing else except for the stone.
The stone is in the middle.
It's just kind of shattered and scattered across the floor. It's about 6 inches thick, 6 to 12 inches in places.
You can examine it.
The stone, yeah, you can take a look at the stone. If you guys want to study the murals, I would require an intelligence roll, and for you all to spend an hour.
I got a success on my intelligence roll.
Nice. Mr. Burke, are you going to do it as well? Alrighty, so what this means for you all is the following. Gentlemen, you receive 3 points in the Cthulhu Mythos category, which has nothing currently in it, and you have learned a little bit about the mythos. You also learn 3 percentage points of a language known as Nakal. Now, from the murals, what you're able to glean is the following. There are 5 locations identical to the one that you're currently in. By opening or cracking the capstone on 3 of these, you believe, just from the murals and the way things are depicted, that there is an area that is equidistant or in the center of all 5 of these areas where an event will take place. Now, what the event seems to be by the murals as they're depicted, you see what looks like a holy woman or a priestess holding this glowing gold staff that seems to be very serpentine in its artistry. It's curved and it has, it just reeks of snake iconography as it's being kind of held aloft in many of these mural paintings. And you believe that if 3 of these capstones are destroyed, it will create what looks like a conical temple to rise in the center of these 5 areas. But with 3 of them cracked, presumably the first one being the one that you're currently standing in, with 2 more, it appears that they will indeed cause this temple to appear. Also, and sort of disturbing, it seems that the humanoids, or the priestess and the other people that look or appear to be human, are ordering around or commanding very large, very hairy-looking creatures. And the first thing that kind of goes through your mind is fairy tales. And you think right away that these look like giants if you were to put them in a Brothers Grimm sort of connotation. But you think from your deep scanning of the map that is currently in the possession of Miss Ives that you know precisely where at least the next two of these caps might be.
If we look at the map, we think we can figure out where they're going to be next.
Mm-hmm. In fact, just from your scanning and your identification of the other map, you're pretty sure you could walk right to them.
How far away?
A half mile for one, another full mile to the next one.
Mr. Burke, you don't think this dynamite was for blowing these places open, do you?
Or sealing them. Yeah, potentially, yeah, maybe blowing them open.
That might not be a bad idea.
Well, let's go back. Let's get out of this hole, and we'll go make a assessment and tell Miss Ives and Miss O'Callahan what we discovered.
Yes, that'll certainly be helpful.
Alrighty, it is a hell of a climb back up, but you guys get there, and about closer to 2.5 hours later, Kate and Sabella, the gentlemen, come into camp.
Now, I just want to say real quick before we get into the thick of this, that when you're in life and death situations and you're sweating out in the jungle, tensions can be a little high. So I would apologize for any non-gentlemanly behavior I've been exhibiting. Y'all have to admit, this has been a very crazy couple of weeks. I've seen some shit I've never seen. I can't talk for you, but personally, I'm sorry.
Can we go back and maybe just retcon them coming back into camp? Because Kate's standing guard and she's shooting some bastards. No, I'm just kidding. That was...
I was literally going to say roll an attack roll. All right.
Of course you were.
Okay, yeah. So you guys are back in. Is there anything else that the group would like to accomplish before morning? And I can bring Greta back in.
Group round apologies, and then also bringing them up to speed on everything we've said, and even our theories on what it means and what to do.
The Whites is fine with what's going on. I mean, he wants everybody to feel comfortable with what we want to do and is willing to listen to all plans.
I just want to know if I got a ping, because that's what I was doing for 2 hours. I wasn't sitting there doing nothing.
Right. That was going to be our last little thing before you went to bed, Miss Ives.
Copy.
I haven't forgotten about you.
Copy.
Okay, so if there's nothing else that you guys want to do, the information has been shared. The fractured group has come back together a bit.
Physically.
At least you're in this, I was going to say, at least you're in the same space. As you guys are going to sleep, I'm presuming standard operating procedures in order, keeping watch, all that good stuff, making sure, cold camp, blah, blah, blah. Miss Ives.
Mm-hmm.
How about a power roll for me?
Oh, goody. Goody, goody gumdrop. How is this possible? Can I use my advantage?
Sure.
It's also only 2... Okay. Greg.
Suck my dick, Dietrich. Hard success.
Consider Dietrich sucking.
You piece of shit! I hate him so much.
Okay, so for a moment you feel as if you are kind of battling through something that you shouldn't really have to access your happy place, your zen. But you get through it, and you feel a ping coming from the center of where Elijah and Dwight came from. But as soon as you're kind of doing this while they're gone, it bleeds away, And as you're going to bed at night, when you're just before you're ready to go to sleep, you feel the ping about a half mile off,
Which way?
about more west than south,
Like where we are, or west of where we are?
like west of where you are. West,
Oh.
still a touch south. But it seems as if whatever was pinging from the site of the hole is now pinging from a different place.
Weird.
And you do not hear any giggles.
Mm.
From Dietrich, anyway.
Right. If we're being meta, Dietrich's mouth is full at this point, so he cannot giggle.
Cool.
Alrighty. So the next morning, Greta, you come back into camp with the following information and nothing else.
Okay.
They are unaware of your presence. They do not know that the Olympians are here.
Okay, and that's it. All right.
And they fixed the radio.
Oh, they fixed the radio.
Yep.
Okay.
And von Alvenschleben is to arrive in 6 hours.
Okay. Well,
God, I hate being right all the time.
if she comes in and everyone's asleep, she's just going to like stand over and be like, "Do I startle them awake? They have guts. This is not good." She will stand behind a tree and be like, "Guten Morgen."
Well, somebody would be up. Somebody was going
Okay.
to be keeping watch. Yeah. So
Well, then
some
good. So she would have been like,
Dwight's
"Guten
up.
Morgen?" Oh. Okay. Guten Morgen, Herr Buck.
I'm glad to see you okay, Miss Von Kraus. Is everything okay?
They are completely unaware of our presence.
That's
However, the bad news is that Herr Alvenschleben is due to arrive in 6 hours.
We were told not to engage him, so we probably should.
That would be advisable to not engage him.
And you have no information of where they're going and what we're going to do.
Unfortunately, Herr Dietrich was not as forthcoming as I would have wished. I believe that the more imminent arrival of Herr Alvenschleben has set him on edge.
Hey,
It's not like him very much.
Elijah's paranoid
all.
enough. Can he see if she's telling the truth?
Absolutely. Yeah, go right ahead and roll a psychology check, please.
Just be like, Herr Alvenschleben, he hates him. It's hilarious. You can see it on his face.
Yeah, Dwight's going to make sure she's not being followed.
Okay, spot hidden from you.
Nice.
Nice. Hard psychology roll. Yeah, everything she's telling you is the truth.
She is always very honest to me, and I appreciate that.
So, it's more efficient than building up a web of lies.
Okay, so as you guys
It's
are
better to
sitting...
be direct.
It's efficient. Very efficient.
Yeah.
You guys don't need... you've shared the information. All options are open to you. Whatever you would like to do. You are aware of the capstones as they were described by Elijah and Dwight. Greta has provided you the information with the timetable for von Alvenschleben. The Nazis are unaware of your presence. Up to you guys.
Can I
So
try to
wait-
extrapolate if I can figure out where the temple is? Because it's supposed to be in like an intersecting section. Can I kind of try to figure out on the map where that would be?
Yeah, roll an intelligence roll with advantage for me, please, because you have 3 of the points already figured out. Same
roll 20
roll.
is awful. Yeah, roll 20 sucks.
That's amazing.
Take
okay.
your pick, man.
Right, I'll take the 34. Yeah, you guys are able to figure out that it looks as if there is a pentagram form, counting the site that you've seen, the site that's a half mile off, and the site that's a mile off. And in the center of this, which you should be able to figure out, is just basically south of the hole's position would be the center, or where all of these points would kind of intersect from these 5 points. But as you learned in the hole, you only need to unlock 3 of them to apparently activate this temple that was depicted in the murals.
And Mr. Sawyer, Mr. Burke, I'm still not quite clear that activating this thing is the right course of action here.
No, nor am I.
I thought we were here just to recover the artifact and hightail it back home.
There's this snake lady with this big glowing snake staff, and I believe that may in fact be the artifact. The problem is, I think it's in the temple.
I think it's moving in the temple, or someone's moving it. If it's like what you describe, it might be a good thing. When you went down, I was concentrating on something.
You went into the hole.
Not physically.
No.
I went into the hole physically.
Oh, they did, yes.
Okay. Seems you all were very productive while I was gone.
This is German efficiency, yeah.
The productivity of
I'm
that.
going to start speaking in Latin. You cannot understand me.
The productivity.
Actually,
of
I
that
speak
person.
fluent Latin too.
Well, men, we at least share one common tongue, aside from English.
You got big wiener schnitzels.
Oh,
So,
you're killing me.
right. Do we think they know how to activate this temple?
The only thing that I heard from them before finding you was that they were looking for sister sites. Because they felt that they could get to it because this one was guarded, but apparently this one is not guarded anymore, so whatever it is loose in the jungle or something.
Right. So maybe each entrance then will be guarded with something. So if we do crack them, we should not be immediately there. What if we wanted to get in there and get this? Stop it, Greg. What is that? If we wanted to get in
roll,
there,
whatever it is.
we could like run a trail, right, of the dynamite and light it from afar, and then.
But do we know where these entrances are?
Mr. Burke, Mr. Sawyer do.
Well, then why don't we talk
it.
and plan this while we walk to the sites, so that we do not waste time. We can talk and walk.
Yeah.
Feet moving and the mouth moving at the same time. It is possible. Okay, let's go. Oh, by the way, here, let me look at your wounds again. Make sure you are recovering properly before we head out.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So I will try to.
Medicine check. Sabella and Kate.
I have a question, Greg, that I'm gonna whisper you in the Zoom chat.
Okay, well, one of them doesn't get any. It's probably Sabella again. I'm like, I can't do much for contusions. I'm sorry.
That will give you, instead of having to roll a d3, it is the full +1. So, Kate, that is 4 hit points back to you. And
I tried. Like, there's not much that can be done for contusions. It's not swelling. It seems to be recovering on its own. It's not like a flesh wound. That requires stitching and cleaning.
And just in case nobody else said it, I am glad you got back here safely, Doctor.
Oh, thank you. Your concern is duly noted.
To do what you're suggesting, Sabella, I would need you to roll a dex check, and then we'll go from there. Nope. You just can't seem to make it look right.
Okay.
Okay.
You styling your hair?
Yes.
And there's nothing observable from that
Yeah.
thing?
Is she like just dancing around? Like,
I'm like squirming. Maybe that's why you can't ever help me. with the
That's
medicine.
if you wouldn't squirm so much, I could maybe do something. Fine,
Right.
leave it alone.
Okay, so let's see. 3 hit points for Sabella as well. She naturally heals.
Nice.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So you guys are able to find the first of the sister sites, the ones that the Nazis are looking for, and the ones that were uncovered in the murals down in the cylinder. And it looks as if there is a 75-foot, partially obscured capstone that seems to have half of it kind of like a banyan tree kind of growing over it. But there it is.
Can you locate that on the map for us, please?
Yeah, let me see if I can ping it for you in...
I don't look at where it is on the map.
You don't look at where it is on the map?
I don't. No.
Okay, I would... Okay.
Yeah, here's Sabella. Her Ives. Frau Ives.
Nope. Nope.
Okay, I'm just letting you know.
I'll use the forest map for you guys. It would be from the site of the battle. You are almost exactly 2 miles south by southwest, if that makes south by southwest. Hey,
Now, blowing this thing wide open, we all know it's a terrible idea. But in 5 hours or so, these are probably all going to get blown open anyway.
Yeah, most likely.
So what to do between then and now?
Blow it
Yeah.
open ourselves
Get
from
in
a
and-
very far distance away. Out of the range of where the body line was by the other side.
If we could do both at once, that'd be even better.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry, I'm still not clear. I'm still not clear exactly where we are.
sure. Let me see if I can ping it on your...
Is it like on one of the specific squiggles? Is it on the backwards L squiggle?
That's what I'm wondering.
Or is it on the kind of loopy K above
He's
it?
on the forest map, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll switch over to the Nazi map. Yeah, you are basically on the loopy K.
The loopy K. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so descriptive, guys.
Okay, and where's the next nearest one?
The
Approximately.
next nearest one would be if you are looking at the center figure there,
Mhm,
and head on that one line that's going straight off of it a little northwest.
Mm-hmm.
It would be right by that weird looking kind of V or that snaky thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so we were camping right in the middle of both of them.
Yep.
Huh? Isn't that nice? Yeah. I wonder if we could just do them both at the same time and just run in, and Mr. Stupid Face will be surprised.
I do not think you will be expecting it.
Sabella, I don't appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that's what we should do.
Okay, so you guys gonna try to
But we
blow
should
these
be
up at the same
far
time?
away in case more of those things come out.
Yeah, I will definitely be nowhere near this when it happens. I
Okay,
do
I-
not know about the rest of you, but I will not be. No, nine.
I have like a 20 in demolition.
Well, lighting demolition is more like I want to blow something up and I want to bring it down, or I want to attack something using controlled charges and things like that. This is literally lighting dynamite and running. So if you can do firecrackers, you can do this. So it's not going to require a roll.
Or you can shoot dynamite.
You can, but what I want to know is how are you guys planning to
Planning.
How are you guys going to make them go off at the same time? Because you do have about a half mile between the two of you to.
That's a great question.
Well, we have one handheld radio.
Yeah. Is Kate the only one wearing a wristwatch?
Greta would probably have one. Because
Mr. Sawyer
Really, we
has
don't
like 6 or
need time of
7
death
very
stuff.
fancy watches.
Somehow I knew you would, Mr. Sawyer. All right.
In fact, I could hand them out to everybody.
It's very.
I am fine.
It's very simple, really. We just synchronize our watches.
Oh,
All
Okay.
right.
So
are
you
yours
guys.
on Bolivian time as well? Or is I the only one who went local this time?
Very local. Okay, so you guys are able to pick the appropriate time. It is still very early in the morning. You're looking at about 8:30 in the morning. So I will allow you to see just how synced up the two of these are. Whoever is lighting them, I would like you both to make intelligence checks to see if you can hit it at the right time with the right length of fuse and all that good stuff.
What's the check, Greg?
Intelligence.
Intelligence.
Very smart, but not very good at shooting.
I have some questions for people, entirely
I'll
meta
shoot
questions.
it.
I have an intelligence of 80.
Yeah, so do I.
Oh, I am the smartest person here. Why does that not surprise me?
I'm the dumbest person here. What?
Why
Does that also not surprise me?
I'm about the scale of 1 to 100. I'm about a 90.
Right. Didn't we do that in Cthulhu? I said
Yeah,
on a
wait,
scale
I
of
do
one.
that in every game system. Like on a scale of one to this. Also, with handguns on a scale of 1 to 100, I am probably about a 40.
It's still not bad.
That's not bad, but
Well, we don't have to. I mean, it can be
Elijah's
light
not
and
gonna. Elijah's gonna try to find a spot where he can keep eyes on the temple that's supposed to rise up out of the ground when the capstones are blown open.
Greta could tell someone, shoot now.
Yeah, if we're gonna be separated here, we should know who's with who.
Yeah, I was with who? Greta's gonna try to go with Burke if possible because he seems to be able to get things done and listen to orders. He's helpful.
I can shoot what I need to do. You know what I mean? Just tell us where we coordinate. I will shoot the dynamite.
Okay, so
The dynamite.
Elijah's going to what he gleans to be the center area.
Yeah, and he's not gonna be standing like right on it, of course, because he'll probably die.
Right on it.
So-
Okay, we're gonna do you last. Burke and Von Kraus, you guys are at the northern site, and we'll put Kate and Sabella at the southern site. And whoever is lighting the fuse or shooting, I need you to make a. This is not even a shoot check. This is an intelligence check here because this is more about syncing up and doing everything.
Can I assist
according
him
to-
with that?
Yeah, so you'll
I'll
be making
I'll
the
have
roll.
my watch out and I'm just like, not
Yeah,
yet.
He can shoot the stuff, but I need you to. You're gonna make the call. So you roll an intelligence check, and then one of either Kate or Sabella needs to make an intelligence check.
right before we go.
I am on it.
That's awesome.
No.
So precise.
I try. Thank you.
Right now, no, now.
Again.
Nice.
Look at you, perfect,
We're a good
well-oiled
team.
machine.
Yeah.
Lauren, did you need something? Did you say?
Well, it's already been done.
Wow, look at us.
Just worried about the camp of people with shotguns that's gonna come a running. But I guess we'll get to that when we get to
They
it.
come to the dynamite explosions. They might not come to the center where we will be.
That was just
up towards the temple.
once we're synchronized. That's what I shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Miss
Uh,
Hunt, is it you or is it me?
I mean, I don't have any confidence in myself, says Lauren. I mean, do you want me to do the intelligence and then you do the shot?
You guys can just light. You don't have to shoot if you don't want to.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Oh.
Who wants to roll the intelligence check? Is basically it.
I think. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, Sabella,
It's fine.
Thank you.
I was
Ish.
going to say to do that, you have to take off your gloves.
God damn.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I will do that, Greg.
Okay. As you take off your gloves and you are lighting Dr. Arturo Yersiny's dynamite, and you are running off, as you step and start running off, you see a flash of Dr. Arturo, and he is talking to Joseph Dietrich.
Mother.
But you make it away. There are 2 hellacious explosions that, because of those rolls, sound like one hellacious explosion. And because they are going off in 2 separate areas, as any good Native American will tell you, that's almost impossible to identify where the source is coming from because of the echoes and the different audio things that it does to the ears. So if there was going to be a response to that, it is definitely going to be more difficult for the respondees to figure out exactly where that came from. Elijah, as you get to the second, moments before the explosions go off, you see what looks like 10 to 15 feet of a drill bit. It's the only way you can describe it, corkscrewing out of the ground. It is green and onyx, and it's covered in this shiny black, and you hear explosions go off, and as you are watching, you see this thing corkscrew out of the ground another 50 feet into the air, and as you're watching, a door crumbles maybe 20 yards in front of you. A few moments later, everyone shows up.
Hey guys, we did a plan.
So are you guys being chased by giant guardian creatures?
Oh, we ran away much too fast to find that out, Mr. Sawyer.
Did you check behind us, Herr Burke? As we were running away.
Yeah, I'll do a spot hidden.
Okay. We are being chased by
Oh,
Bigfoot.
everyone, guess what?
Oh,
Remember
I
that?
failed it. So I have no clue.
I will look behind. Very, very terribly.
Remember that that very ooh
No, we didn't see anything.
Mr. Sawyer, you see a group of birds kind of fly off in the distance, but you don't think anything of it.
So, remember that handsome Dr. Artur that we were so very sad to learn of his passing as it happened right in front of our faces. You know who he was buddies with? My personal favorite of all the Nazis, Mr. Joseph Dietrich.
Is this a second Arturo or a third one or a fourth one?
I
or the
don't
first
think
one?
so. I think it's exactly the same one.
Okay, it's hard for me to keep track of all these.
Well, he is dead now. Yeah, we do not have to worry about him.
So we should get inside here and, well, the door's gone, but maybe we should try to prevent our friends from following us. Although they may be preoccupied if the explosion drew the attention of, say, a big creature that causes death.
Let us hope that is the case.
Hope is great for breeding eternal misery.
Soldier boy, see that doorway?
Yes, so we want to enter this door, Russ, correct?
I
You
think we
read
gotta.
my mind.
I think we gotta.
The current marching order I have is Dwight, Kate, Sabella, Greta, and Elijah. Is that still the marching order that we have?
No,
Yeah.
sir, it is not.
Oh.
Because while all that conversation was happening, Kate was already in that door.
Oh, Kate went in first.
Snap, crackle, pop. So it's Kate.
Okay,
her
so
Soldier boy, there's the doorway. Oh,
yeah, you guys see Kate just walk right into the front of this temple. Kate, when you walk in, you see that it doesn't open into a space depicting the size from the outside, but you see what looks like, heading off to your left, a tube that looks like a hallway. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist or Professor Mueller to figure out that this tube is probably following the ridge or the rung of what looks like the drill bit from the outside of the temple, and it goes down.
so when I walk straight into a hole in the ground, I'm stupid. But when she rushes into a temple drill, that's the right thing to do.
Well, now we're
You guys
under.
are very intelligent until the study has been committed, but apparently that is what we are doing.
Our timetable got pushed.
It did. That is correct.
You don't see anything, Kate.
Yeah, thanks. I figured.
As we.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say as we step inside, I'm gonna try to find the nice feeling again. Relative.
Roll a power check for me.
Okay.
And I'm going to say the general pace of the party is probably going to be less sightseeing tour, more quickly jogging along and trying to get in and out of here as fast as possible.
It takes you a second.
I'm so sorry. You're a nice person.
It takes you a second, and as you are, there's a moment of contest that you push through again easily,
Getting him out of there.
and you feel that good feeling, that calling is coming from below. It's very strong now, and it's centered, but you can tell that it's pretty far down.
The yummy feeling's real far down, guys. I think we should go down this downward sloping tube tunnel. You said something about snake imagery. I don't like it. We should go down that way, though.
Yeah, Kate's already moving and moving quite quickly.
Kate!
Yeah, jogging.
Yes.
Okay.
While we're walking down, Greta is going to be very carefully monitoring the atmospheric conditions to make sure, because underground sometimes there's noxious gases and stuff, so she's going to be kind of on alert for that. Maybe even like pull a handkerchief up to her mouth and nose just in case.
Roll a spot hidden, or I will let's do a pharmacy on that one, because that's
Okay.
sort of in that wheelhouse.
That is a success.
As you guys walk in, you see Kate disappearing down the tubular tunnel. And as soon as Elijah and Dwight come in, you'll notice that along the walls of this area are several carvings and murals very, very reminiscent of the ones you guys saw at the bottom of the hole. Kate, you get about, we'll give you about 50 feet down the hallway, and I'm going to need you to roll a luck roll for me, please.
I believe you are muted.
Okay. At the last possible second, you see a blade the size of the entire cylinder slide out into the hallway in front of you, like it's rolling through this tube. I need you to make a dodge roll for me, please.
Alrighty, hold on.
Or you can spend 6 luck.
Yeah, I'll spend that luck.
Okay. So very reminiscent of Last Crusade, only the penitent person shall pass. You dive through and roll just as this blade runs through the length, the absolute, or the width, kind of bisecting the tunnel, and then disappears into the opposite wall. And by God, even though you know you just saw it, you can't even see where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So as she comes up on the other side, she crouches for a moment and looks back to see if the others are approaching. And hold on, did you see that?
Well, you were so far ahead of us, honey. What?
That would probably be next. I said, yes, I did see that. Thank God.
Someone roll me a spot hidden for me, please, with advantage.
You might wanna be careful for that.
Okay.
Extreme success.
Dwight, you are able to barely identify an almost paper-thin, completely circular slot that goes around the entire tube, and you can see that there's some type of almost like an air current mechanism that if something passes across this area, this blade will come across. But you also are able to detect the two kind of detectors. There's like two kind of sluiceways that are kind of picking up air current. With that type of roll, you're able to cover it up, and you have disabled this circular trap.
This should do it right here. We could pass down through now.
There is no way that is the last, adventure book kind of trap thing we're going to find.
Right.
Keep your eyes open heading in here.
So a brisk but careful pace.
Well, it wasn't like I had my eyes closed, Mr. Sawyer.
You're
just-
projecting now.
Got excited.
Okay, so as you guys are going down,
Demon saved us, Miss O'Callahan.
you guys, Kate and Dwight, Kate from absolute experience and Dwight from just looking for what he found before after Kate pointed it out to him, you are able to identify 2 more of these traps, but after about another 100 feet, they disappear. You don't see them. There's no more regular occurrence of them. However, what you are noticing at this point is that intermittently, there are holes in the ceiling of this tubular tunnel and at the floor of this tubular tunnel, and you'll see a snake slither in, kind of drop from the ceiling, or slither across the floor. None in very large numbers.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Ah, you beat me to it.
When you get to what you appears to be the bottom of this wraparound tubular tunnel, it no longer descends, it evens out, and you can see a large area just outside of this tunnel. But to get there, there is a 20-foot expanse covered with snakes. Hundreds and hundreds of snakes. And now they're slithering in through the holes in the wall as they drop in. And with a brief identification, anybody with, the doctor should be able to point out that among several non-venomous snakes that are in there, she can also identify a pit viper and a coral snake, otherwise known as the 20-minute snake, for certainly not nefarious reasons.
If I had enough time, I could probably make either a snake repellent or something of that nature, but I do not think we have the luxury of time.
How many of those kinds?
It's very difficult to see, but at least a dozen.
Okay.
And there may be more, but those are kind of like the colorful ones that sort of stand out. And
Well, this is very troubling.
I
Yeah.
don't think my particular powers of persuasion would be much use here.
I was
Hey,
thinking about
snakes, move out the way.
You are not a snake charmer?
right.
Yeah.
That seems like what we
Sawyer.
need.
If this was D&D, she'd get advantage for that.
it's not, though.
Well, they're not listening to me, so.
You said that in the murals and some of the ones we've seen, there was a woman with the staff who seemed to be was she controlling snakes or controlling the big things or both?
If you're asking me in an omniscient sort of way, in the murals and even the ones that are depicted here, you occasionally see a picture of this priestess and the staff that she is holding, which is always depicted with this like golden aura around it. It doesn't look like she's controlling snakes. It just
Okay, it's just snake imagery in the
right.
place. Okay.
So, if anyone's particularly fleet of foot, they could try to run through that. We also have a bag of dynamites.
We do. What is it? No, he nodded. What is it possible to?
Dynamite.
I mean, what if that brings down this place on us? Could we set the snakes on fire? Could we ask the snakes to leave?
Can we politely yet firmly ask the snakes to leave? No.
I already tried that. It didn't work.
Greg, what are you doing?
Greg, can I roll a persuasion check?
I'm petting my
Sorry,
snake.
didn't you keep those clothes? We could light those clothes on fire and throw them in front of us.
Greta would like to pull down the shard she has of the shard and the brick. She wants to put the shard in. I'm sure there's non-venomous snakes nearby. She's gonna like hold it close to them to see if it has any like repelling effect at all, or if they're just like, whatever, it's a rock, we don't give a fuck. It's fine, it's cool, it's whatever.
Yeah, they do a
It's a rock.
total. We don't give a fuck. It's a
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's so many snakes in here, guys.
Miss Callahan, your snaky thing doesn't repel snakes, does it?
Your snaky thing.
He says, I'm sure it repels a lot of things, Mr. Sawyer.
It repels charming Southern men. I know that.
You have no idea, sir.
I haven't met any charming Southern men recently.
Greg,
Zing, zing. Oh,
are the snakes? They're like still coming in too. It's not like there's just a big old puddle of them, right?
yeah, it's like just like the whole when the tunnel finally leveled off. It's just like they've all gathered here at the bottom of the tubular tunnel that you guys have been descending through. But it's a carpet. I mean, it's just like a snake carpet.
And there's no other. It just fills the whole passageway.
We should have brought gasoline.
You can do a spot hidden if you'd like.
Okay. No.
No.
Someone else should. Other people with better eyes than myself.
You
Which
guys think that that's now when
I wear glasses.
when you guys are all looking through there, you think that this is the only way to go. Dwight, when you look through, you think you might be able to use the natural handholds of the top of this tubular tunnel and kind of jungle gym across. It might not be that easy, though.
Yeah. My suggestion is probably make something we can light on fire and throw in front of us and kill anything in front of us.
I have plenty of extra outfits and blazers that I'm not currently wearing.
Well, will that just make the snakes just aggressive?
Fire would probably kill them.
Snakes do not like fire.
Right. But they
Elijah's
may
gonna
just-
take.
And I do suggest that there is a way to get across above, but it's going to take some acrobatics to do it.
Just to
Yeah, there's a lot.
just to try our theory first. Elijah's gonna take out his one ruined, bloody shirt that he wrapped Kate up in earlier. And
Of course, I would have a Zippo. Always smoking.
What's that?
I have a Zippo. I pull my Zippo out and
Yeah.
Hand it to Mr. Sawyer.
I light the bottom of the shirt on fire.
It is burning.
Mr. Sawyer walks up to these snakes as far as he can reach, at least, to not, get bitten.
Yeah, try to go
And-
by the more innocuous looking ones.
I don't know what snake looks safe.
The
They
not
all look-
colorful ones.
The ones with the diamond heads do not get near them or the
They all look pretty bitey to me.
Just killing anything that's in front of us.
How do they respond to fire being?
They
They
definitely
do.
shy away from it. The shirt consumes itself rather quickly, and it's not like a large bonfire by any stretch of the imaginations. But the ones that are closest to the smoke that kind of comes off of it and the small flame that's produced, they scurry away from it, but they quickly kind of roll back over top of it.
great. We just set ourselves on fire and run. This is not good plan.
Kate steps up with one of them shotguns.
Okay, you have the shotgun there. When you step forward, Kate, you notice that the snakes move away from you. They kind of wave back, almost as if a force is pushing them back, and they kind of slither forward, hit something, and kind of bounce off of it as you approach.
I take a couple of steps forward, kind of tentatively, just the first couple.
You see what looks like a halo starting to form in front of you, about 5 feet in front of you, as a circle or an arc is pushing into the snakes as they absolutely stay away from you.
Oh
And-
no, Mr. Sawyer had a point.
And behind me,
Are you going so far enough in that you would actually...
couple more steps.
It looks like there is going to be a bubble of about 10 feet around you.
Kate steps back enough so that the bubble kind of extends back to where the rest of the group is and says, "All right, all aboard, y'all. Let's go."
Fantastic. We have to get friendly and physical with each other again. Great. My favorite thing.
Well, Doctor, of course, you are more than welcome to try to make this passage on your own.
I did not say I was not going. I merely
Come on,
said I was
Greta.
not happy about it.
I will hook Greta's arm.
Oh, please
and
do not. Please.
Kate's arm.
Oh,
And it's just a love hug.
oh, this is, oh, nine. Hot and sehr bitte.
It's just to help keep you safe, I promise.
Okay,
We
so
trip, we both
Greta,
fall
are
down.
you like pulling away from this, or?
Yes, she's not comfortable with this. She's like,
Oh no, I'm sorry. I apologize. I was just
Ugh.
trying to keep you in and I overstepped my bounds. I do apologize.
I have personal boundaries and space.
Absolutely.
Well,
I'm
I-
so
Yeah.
sorry.
Just because of the two people that we're doing this with, I need dex checks from both of you.
God damn it.
Oh. That is fine. I'm quite nimble.
I'm not.
Okay, so Greta's able to kind of pull away and not suffer any pulling away, falling into the snake's
Nick's
damage.
Note not to roleplay.
If I see her falling in towards the snake,
Just checking.
can I try to catch her and be like, oh, God.
Can we grab her?
Let me die.
Okay, so as you guys are able to use Kate's bubble and get through these snakes, you do realize that in your wake, several of them are retreating into the holes from whence they came. So the density of the snake bed behind you is about half of what it was when you guys first arrived. So it's still covered in snakes, but not nearly as many as there were when you guys got on the other side. Now, when you walk into this area, it is massive, maybe 200 feet across. You can actually see the outside of the circular spiraling passageway that you came down. You do notice that there are snakes kind of hugging different ledges all the way up here. The ground here, though, is not covered in snakes. It's just a kind of a sand and dirt packed ground. Across and directly in the center of the area, you see what looks like an archway, pillars that go up, and they intertwine and form a snake's head. And the eyes of the snake's head are green jewels about the size of a human fist. 20 feet beyond that, you see a 20-foot high pedestal that is ringed with a helix going up it. Very similar, almost with this spiral imagery that's everywhere inside this place. And atop the helix is a throne. And in the throne is a figure. But from this distance, you cannot make out the figure.
Bye. Auf Wiedersehen. Kidding.
Well, is the figure alive? Is it moving?
Roll a spot hidden for me. Doesn't appear to be moving.
Elijah shouts out, just, hello, anyone in here? I hear
response?
silence.
Beautiful, beautiful
I'm gonna go
silence.
examine those snake eyes you were talking
Yeah, how far up the snake eyes are?
You'd have to climb up the pillars to get to them, but I mean, you can get a very good look at it from just standing underneath them. If you wanted to remove one, you would have to climb up.
Those might be worth something.
I could climb up there if you would like me to.
They're not worth your life.
Can Kate pull out her binoculars and take a look at that figure on the throne,
Sure.
Mr. Keeper, sir?
Sure.
And we have flashlights, so the flashlight's pointed at it.
What do you need from me there, Spot Hidden?
With advantage, since you're going to be magnifying what you...
We'll take that to extreme success then, shall we?
It looks like a very good rendering of a humanoid figure. It appears feminine, but it also appears to be like a very thin stone. like even like a hollow curvature or something of that nature. It looks like it actually, you can see through it in a way, so it might be some type of substance that's not necessarily stone, perhaps maybe some type of gem, or even like a quartz or something like that. But it's definitely not alive.
Is it holding anything?
It looks like it used to be.
Kate lowers her binoculars and turns back to the group and says, that statue, it's almost as if it's made of some kind of gem-like substance, but it looks thin, like it could crack it, and it looks like it was holding something, but it's not holding anything right now.
Is there anything behind the statue? Any more doorways? Does this place go on any further?
This seems to be the end.
Can I probably one last time try to find I want to find the yummy feeling. Which
Go right
is
ahead.
now what
Power
I
roll.
guess. Yeah. Should I use it? Should you think I should use it or not?
Said you were trying to. I'm curious to see what Greg has to say.
Yeah.
I'm just
It's about as indecisive as I've ever been playing any game.
So what are you taking that role, or are you going to, as a kind and benevolent keeper, I will allow you to
know,
use...
and I'm sorry that I'm an asshole.
You're not. This is great. Come
on. I don't know if it's time to use it.
You can absolutely burn that crit if you want to.
use it, girl.
Lindy, what do you think?
She's not gonna help you.
She's my friend. I like to ask all my friends. She's played Cthulhu more than me.
Yeah, and
She's
I
gonna
don't
tell
know
you
what the
not
hell
to
I'm
use
doing
it.
whenever I play Cthulhu. I'm just like, yeah, this is what my character would do. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, fuck you, Dietrich.
Yeah, you think I plan out the shit I do with Vashka? No, I just am like, why am I doing this? This is so dumb.
Okay, so you're using your crit?
Yeah.
Okay. You feel that kind of that barrier, but you're able to push through it again. And you feel that the ping, or that happy feeling, is actually coming from further down. You're not sure where, but it's definitely beneath your current location. And just because you had to burn a crit there, for a moment you believe that Mr. Sawyer is standing beside you when you open your eyes, but when you look over, you see Dietrich sitting there, standing, and he straightens his tie, and he looks over and he says, "This is getting very exciting," and he disappears.
I hate that guy so damn bad.
I hate him so much.
It's the straw effect.
So one more time, Greg, can you kind of just describe that the geography of the room here?
Sure, absolutely. For Theater of the Mind, it's a circular room. It's 200 feet across. Maybe a couple hundred feet up. It has just right when you walk out, there's that archway that is made of essentially, it looks like two snake tails that combine into a snake head with the green gems. And then in the absolute center of the room is a pedestal that goes up about 20 feet. It has a helix around it, very similar to the architecture of the actual temple. And sitting on top of that pedestal is a throne with the creature that you saw.
Creature.
You can't identify exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, I got the creature part. That's good.
I think there's a way to get out of this room. Everybody.
It would make sense. This did not seem like a super giant pyramid temple if there was one hallway in one room.
Mr. Burke, if if you needed to put a bullet right in the head of that statue thing up there from this distance, do you think you could do that?
I think I can, Miss O'Callahan.
Only if we find a monkey to put on it first.
That
Greg.
would be a failure then. Then I would shoot
Greg.
something.
Yes.
Being such a learned lady, knowing things about temples and such, would I know anything about, like, where, secret passages could be, or common, like, triggers or anything like that?
I will allow you to make an occult roll because that would probably be where you would have learned this type of stuff, but this is going to definitely be like a hard roll for this.
Okay.
Before she does that, can I check the floor to make sure there's no traps in front of us, like that we can step into this room and like go farther in?
Sure, yeah, do a spot hidden on the ground around you. Yep, everything's cool.
Hard success.
It takes you a second to think about it, but you do remember a book that your grandfather had given you recently whenever you moved or went to live with him in New York. And you do remember that a lot of times in some ancient Incan and ancient Aztec temples, whenever they would have a fallen deity or a fallen ruler, they would often put their treasure trove beneath them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Ooh.
if you had to make a guess, you would think that perhaps the entrance is somewhere in or around the throne.
I share this information with everyone and point to the pretty quartz statue and the throne. It's up there.
Soldier boy, how about you climb on up to a lovely quartz lady and give her a once-over? The way I know only you can.
I'll take a shot. I've been known to do that. I'll take a shot at her first, though.
God damn it.
What? No!
That is not what was asked, but he failed.
Right. At the last second when Dwight's getting ready to fire, he hears everybody say, no, and he pulls his gun and it still goes off, but it just ricochets off the wall. The statue is still intact.
I do.
Remember the blades. Remember the snakes. This place is dangerous.
Yes, let us investigate the statue closer up, perhaps before shooting it. It could have a valuable key to the puzzle we are looking for.
Look at things before shooting is normally a pretty good idea.
Yeah, there ain't nothing normal about this, Mr. Sawyer.
We're not sure this thing's alive or not up there. You're suggesting I go up and shake its hand, Mr. Sawyer?
I will.
Hey, give it a try, yeah.
I'll do it.
No.
I'll go up first. I'll do this first, and then
I'll go with
I'll call
you.
you up, Miss Ives, and you can check it out.
All right. I think there might be like, maybe there's some kind of trigger or something.
Maybe if you insert something into her closed hand.
If.
Wink.
Oh, god damn it.
Only we
Right,
had
right.
anything.
Okay, so Dwight, you're climbing up to the throne?
Yeah, but I'm going to make sure that I take very careful steps and don't step on anything that's going to disrupt anything or touch anything, or I will not shoot anything anymore as well.
Okay, spot hidden? Yeah, it looks good, man.
I decided to try again.
You gonna try to push it? you can elect to push it, but there will be consequences if you don't hit the hard roll.
If I fail, there's consequences. If I succeed, I will not have consequences.
That is correct.
I'll take my chances.
God damn.
That is a success, but not a hard success.
Do you want to use 9 luck?
Can't do it on a push.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Okay, so
That's good to know.
you don't see anything, and you're able to pull yourself up. You are nose to nose with, not nose to nose, but you're standing in front of the statue.
I have my handgun. I have my 45 out.
Okay. As you get closer and you're breathing and there's kind of sweat dripping off of you, a drop of sweat kind of runs off your nose and hits the ground and immediately gets soaked into the stone at your feet. And as you kind of exhale, the statue in front of you drifts away like burnt leaves. It just scatters. And as it scatters, you feel a rumbling beneath you. Greta, since I've been paying close track of who is actually closing in on this position, and you're the only person that did not mention that you moved forward, you hear something behind you and turn just in time to see the door close off with one of those quick rolling stone blades. The rest of you see the helix that is going up to the pedestal begins to crack, and you see a 4-foot wide by 100-foot long serpent erupt from around the throne. We are 53 minutes in, but I'd like everyone to tell me the initiative order inside the temple. What's your dex rolls, everybody? I will let you know that your pushing failure is to come in last.
Extreme 11.
You're coming in last.
Oh, you want us to make rolls?
No. Just tell me your dex order, like what your dex values are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
65.
Strider, I just rolled a 79 to see which one of us gets to go first.
Right, good. Yeah, so it's Elijah, Kate.
My dex is 75.
Okay.
Elijah, Kate, Greta, Sabella, and then Burke is last.
Man, what's everybody's dexes at? Crazy good.
They're crazy good, yeah. Kate's is ridiculous. So is Elijah's. Okay, so Elijah, you see this huge serpent appear, and it is 100% alive. It moves like the serpents that you saw on a much smaller scale on the outside, and as it slithers around, as its huge mouth opens as it looks at the group of you, and you realize that it's still kind of coiled around the pedestal, and Burke is literally in the middle of this thing. Also, let's all roll sanity checks real quick.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
sure.
sure. I am barely okay, but I'm okay. That
Hard
rattles me a bit,
success.
but I am okay.
That's the first time I've succeeded on a sanity check this whole damn game. I just
My
want to
God.
note that.
Right. Okay, so that is 6 lost for, I believe, just Elijah.
God damn it.
Elijah.
So is the temporary insanity just throwing all the dynamite straight at this thing?
Yes, you have a temporary insanity right now, and your insanity is you have an incredible fear of snakes.
God
You
damn
cannot.
it.
You cannot get close to this thing. All you can do is try to get as far, just like a fear spell in.
He's gonna be like back with me, like 200 feet away.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
So
Elijah.
Elijah, because of your failed sanity check, you need to start peeling backwards.
Peeling backwards, preparing dynamite. Hopefully not going to throw any until Burke would hopefully be further away from this thing.
Do not throw dynamite.
But the number one thing is just getting away from it before all else.
Right, you are filled with an absolute terror over this thing, which any sane person would be, but your friends don't seem to be very, very upset by its appearance. You, however, are. Okay, so as you pull back, Kate, what would you like to try here?
How far away am I from the head or just behind it?
You guys are, the advanced team, everybody but Greta, are within 50 feet. I'll let you decide how close you want to be to it. Burke is 5 feet away from it. He is literally within slapping distance of this thing.
Kate's gonna, she holds the serpent gun up in her hand. She's bracing with her arm with her other hand. And she steps to the point at which she's within range, which she knows what the range is, so about 45 feet, and continues moving forward as she's firing all 3 shots.
Okay. Let them fly.
Yes, sir. Come on, baby. Oh, oh fuck. Oh my god.
Okay, so really, as the dice, I'm always want to say the dice tell the story here. As you come up and for the first time fire off this serpent gun, the rest of you see the eyes glow green, and you don't hear anything, but you can almost smell it as it releases these green blasts that come out like a, and they just go out, and they ricochet off the wall. Dwight ducks as one of them goes flying right over top of him. And for a second, Kate, you're reminded of a certain trip that you took that ended in a crash, and that feeling of where fun turns into oh shit, as you've lost control of this thing for a second, but you start to compensate towards the end, and you're able to kind of get a better understanding of this weapon. But it is no longer your turn, and you have closed.
And she just laughing out loud the entire time. It's a little weird.
The snake's like, for just a second, just kind of looks, and its tongue comes out. Greta, what would you like to try?
So is Mr. Sawyer next to me at this point? He was backing the fuck away.
Yeah, we'll say he is on his way back.
But is he like within range of me? Is he like close to me, next to me?
Yeah, you can. I tell you what, he might not be all the way back to you, but you could close to him and still do something.
Okay, I will be like, Herr Sawyer, would you like to be a little more effective from long range? I see you backing up. Please do not throw dynamite.
No witty reply or anything this time. Just shaking hands and a huge eyes like a deer in the headlights.
Okay, we will take that as yes, and I'm gonna inject him with what I like to call Blitzschnell, my bioserum.
Let him know what Blitzschnell will do to him as he makes a con roll and you make a pharmacy roll.
Okay. Like, oh, okay. Just inject 19. You. Like, as you're backing up, I just, like, stick it in your left butt cheek. Just, like, my pharmacy roll. Oh, no! Oh, God! I'm gonna use 4 luck on that.
Okay.
I don't want it to be a failure the first time.
Okay, as she pulls out this weird injectable hypo gun of hers, she just throws it into your, would you say the butt cheek?
Yeah, just...
Right in the old butt cheek. Boom. And what does he feel?
He feels like maybe his hands, they steady a little bit more with the gun, or with whatever he's holding. They get steady. It's like things kind of almost slow down. He feels like he could be super effective with weapons from far away. Maybe like a fan the hammer at the weapon's max range.
Right. Mechanically speaking, you can now take 3 shots from max handgun range. Also, what we're going to do with this is, because I like the name Blitzschnell, and I can do an advantage if I want to, or inspiration, you no longer feel scared of the snake. It seems as if the injection has
It's like a shot of speed with a little adrenaline in it, but you're also like super steady. The world just moves a little slower.
Okay, so
and
yeah,
then you pick the cartridge out and then back up with whatever remaining movement I have. Like, that is good. You have fun with that, and I pull out the handgun.
Nice, Sabella.
Damn, why are you in my butt? And I'm talking.
Nickel.
You know, I prefer downers, but this'll do.
The Blitzschnell is sehr gut.
That's for another episode.
Right.
Well, I don't know that there's much I can do, so I will back away, and then just because this sounds cheeky, and what am I mean, we just had cheeky puns. I have no idea this is gonna work. It'll probably just blast me back, but it's fine. That's the kind of day this is. I want to try to snake charm it.
I love this plan. I'm proud to be a part of it.
I know you are.
Roll me a power check.
Okay.
As you match the reptilian eyes of the snake.
Just a regular success.
You match the eyes of the snake, and for a minute, very Jungle Book-esque, you're able to actually feel this rather intelligent mind of this great creature, and you feel yourself maybe getting control over it, and all of a sudden you feel a hand go over your eyes, and it blocks your vision for a moment as if somebody's playing peekaboo with you. And just as quickly as the hand's there, it's gone, and you hear, "Oh, peekaboo," as Dietrich pulls his hands away from your eyes, which of course aren't really there.
Cool. I will keep moving away then.
And Mr. Burke?
Do I assess the green eyes? Do I see the stones? Do I think that potentially shooting the stones out may eliminate the snake?
Roll a spot hidden for me. You don't see anything different in the eyes before, after. There's nothing that leads you to believe that this is controlling the snake.
There's nothing that leads to I'm going to take the grease gun and I'm going to spray the snake.
Excellent. You are right up on this thing. So what I need you to do is roll one attack as if it was with your... I'll work the damage. You just roll an attack roll as if it was with your rifle.
How's that? Oh, with my rifle? Or the grease gun itself?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot I gave you the grease gun. Okay.
Yes, you did.
I will tell you this. If you spend 2 luck, you get an extreme success here.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so with that, your damage is... So you guys see Burke as he pulls out the grease gun that was held by the Nazi and absolutely unloads into the back of the head of this thing as he's rocking it against, and you see scales and shit and blood fly everywhere as this thing screams as partial, but you can actually see the back of its skull removed as he just absolutely lays into this thing.
I fire again.
Okay, so with this one, you hit, but, I mean, you can spend if you want to get down to the next level, but it'll be 20 luck.
Can't do that. I'll be completely out. I mean, but we're at the point where I almost should, but I'm gonna hold myself.
Okay, so you fire again, and this time... You do an additional 16 damage to the thing as you continue firing, but because it's thrashing so wildly, a couple of the bullets go flying off. That is a total of, 73 damage?
An insane amount.
Okay, so as you're firing, you guys see this thing get blasted and it flies to the ground. Its head smacks off and it spins back around, spraying blood and snake brain matter everywhere as it is literally going on nothing but instinctual lower motor function movement, and it turns around and swallows Dwight Burke. You see, as he's firing, it just comes in and you see a ripple go down.
Well, there's enough holes in him that maybe he'll kind of squeeze out one of them.
Right. So Dwight is inside, and we are at the top of the round. Elijah, you
31% I wanted.
Elijah, you're better.
This thing
that is the single most damage I've ever seen in a Call of Cthulhu game that a PC did in one round.
That is a grease gun. That is machine guns at close range, wielded by somebody that can generate an extreme success with them. They are ridiculous. This thing is thrashing in its death throes. It is still, however, alive enough.
You are ready to shoot.
Where do I shoot the thing? It don't have a head.
Kill it!
Anywhere, and do it fast.
If you hit the spinal column, perhaps that would be good. You can...
What the fuck?
Do not shoot at the moving bulge. I believe that is... Burke.
Greg, how far away am I?
Well, because of the
You're within range. You can fan the hammer wherever, whenever.
Yeah, it's not what I'm asking for.
yeah, you're about 200 feet back at this point, but you can close to within 100 if you want to use your handgun.
Yeah, I guess I'll use the handgun then.
Okay, you get 3 shots.
Extreme,
You kill it.
hard, fail.
Yeah. You shoot it once again, very similar to. You get to get credit for this one and a dragon. So as this absolute spray of death came out, and 138 round later, pop, it just drops. Boom. The tail moving a little bit at the end, and in its last bit of reflex as its kind of muscles, you see Dwight roll out from the inside, covered in gore and bile and blood and shit, most of his own creation. But he's holding the grease gun, and he doesn't seem to be too hurt.
Elijah's not a doctor, but he's always the first one on the scene if he can be, so he rushes right up.
You're super fast right now, or at least you feel super fast. Just
Dwight,
like-
you took 5 from that whole little ordeal.
Yeah, Greta will come over and attempt to...
God damn it, Mr. Burke, he just got attacked by a giant snake. He swallowed you. You doing okay?
Yeah.
You're muted,
Greg?
bud.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. So, Lauren, can you give me like 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, as everything dies down, you do in fact, because of what Sabella has told you, you find a hole in the bottom of the throne room that leads down about 20 feet. And when you get down there, you find 3 things, and we'll leave you with this. There's an old, dusty, golden staff that looks like a snake up against the wall. There is a chest that is filled with scrolls that look very, very interesting. And there is a completely nude woman asleep on an altar. And at the head, it says, "Here lies the Tyrannish." And that is where we will end this session of Pulp Cthulhu, which ran over by 1 hour and 10 minutes because there's a lot of talking. And I wanted to get you guys through this. So what we're going to do is, for everybody that's watching, this group is able to take all 3 of the things I just mentioned, make it back to the Ugly Duckling, take Franklin Watson and the very helpful Quentin Shapiro, and head back to New York City.
Do we have to take Mr. Shapiro?
Yes, it's part of the
Yeah,
part of
you
the
have
plot
to
progression.
Okay.
Damn plot
I know
progression.
this is gonna mess up your cameras. I'm super sorry, everybody. I just didn't expect the things to butt up against each other, but I gotta go. I'm really
Absolutely,
sorry.
Lauren. Sorry. I'm
Okay,
sorry I kept you
sorry.
so long.
No, I'm sorry. I love you guys. Bye. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, see ya.
Okay.
Okay,
Who am I now?
I'll get Lindy fired up. Okay, so guys, and everybody in chat, because we have a wonderful person that was able to stay there much longer, and all these people are wonderful. Make sure you follow Lauren because she's awesome and she's the best. And even then, when she says bad things to me, I still love it. Everybody else, you guys are able to make it back to New York City, where we were going to be doing some of the bonus episodes during our 3-week break. We will be back here in 2018, but we will also be doing some additional bonus content to see exactly how this kind of fractured party is going to address certain interpersonal issues after their success in Bolivia. I will let you know that each of the items that you find, the Tyrannish, the staff, and the scrolls, all require continued study. They can be elected to be
those
done.
eyes too, buddy.
What's that?
We would have took those eyes.
Okay, you can take the 2 gems out, you can pry them out, and because you guys did get this done in the appropriate time frame, you do not have to deal with the arrival of von Alvenschleben, and you are able to get Greta back to her first trip to New York City, I believe, as I am...
Are we
struggling-
carrying a naked
North
sleeping
America.
woman?
You are carrying a naked sleeping woman, yes.
Greta would
No,
probably
this is
be
not my first time, but still.
studying her the most, because doctor, woman sleeping in the middle of a random temple, she's intrigued.
Yep, she does not awaken during the entire trip, though. So you are able to get some quality time with her, and I will provide you with that information when we get a little bit closer. Guys, the other thing that I wanted to tell you with the epilogue was just as the Ugly Duckling is taking off, as I put you on the treadmill of plot progression, as the Ugly Duckling is taking off back to New York, just when Kate is walking in after the final check to close the hatch, there's a crosshairs directly on her forehead. And just before Gruber pulls the trigger, Dietrich lifts the gun, redirecting his shot that does not go off. And as Gruber looks up at Dietrich looks down at Gruber and he says, "There's no matter. This is no concern. Let them have their victory. Besides, we can pin all of this on Alvenschleben." And that's where it ends for this little finale break. As I want everybody to talk, Allison, give us your outros. Thank you so much, everybody. Kate made it. You're back in New York City. She may actually make it through 1933, or at least another day.
Yeah, we'll see, I suppose. Are you sure you don't want me to go last? I just feel like maybe that would be the safe thing to do here.
Please go first this time. The audio problems are all mine and OBS's, but you are clear to go. You're clear for takeoff.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, Kate's got a lot on her mind right now about just what she's gotten herself into, and she wasn't sure about much, but even the few things that she thought maybe she was are in question here. So tune in to see what happens over the break here. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks always to my fellow Olympians. Love you all, and you too, Greg. Despite all the nasty things, I've been thinking about you for the last 3 hours. I spend the whole week looking forward to this. It's so much fun.
Well, I hope you guys know that I love each and every one of you, and I love your characters, and I don't want them to die, but I want them to succeed in the greatest, most spectacular way possible. And when they fight among themselves, I love that too. So I'm going to feed off of that as much as is possible. But thank you so much, Allison. Let's jump over to Steve. Steve, Dwight got swallowed by a snake, but he also fucked it up. Tell me about it.
That was definitely different. I definitely enjoyed that. I don't know what to say about getting swallowed by a snake. I don't wish I had a witty comeback, but I don't. I'm not Sawyer, so I have to just go with thank God I got the hell out of it and lived to survive it. I had a great time today. We're going to get our shit together. We're going to replan, and we're going to figure out what we're going to do. I'm glad we got out of there. I wish everybody to have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and what yada, yada, yada. And, thanks, Craig. You did a great job today, buddy. I really do appreciate it.
I feel bad, but...
Eat.
Yeah. Strider, buddy, Elijah had some things to say. A couple of them were helpful, and a couple of them were hurtful. But I think he got his point across, and I think we got to see a little bit of maybe the real Elijah a bit here. What do you think?
If you think that you got to see a little bit of the real Elijah, then everything he's trying to do is working. Perfect. Yeah, dude, it's such a pleasure to be able to play with such high caliber people. Every single member of the cast in our DM's just fantastic. It's a pleasure. Yeah, man. Finishing up Tomb of Annihilation tomorrow, Monday, I think.
Right, but you've got something. You got Thursday, don't you, buddy?
Yeah, and then I'm DMing on Thursday too. I'm keeping it a secret because everyone's gonna die, and not just once. Everyone's gonna die a lot. So shush.
Follow Strider and
silly
find out
voices,
when to watch him die.
Good rolls, killing things. Great time.
That's awesome, buddy. Lindy, this is your third cycle through the Good Doctor. She made it. She lived. She got to show off her blitzkrieg.
I know, I got to see his other bio serum. I was so excited about that. and a helpful one this time. So like the group can maybe kind of see what she can do a little bit more. Like, oh here.
You did awesome.
But as usual, she's not gonna announce it because then it's not an effective test study group. You gotta be like, oh, let's see how this works. But I had so much fun. I had so much fun today. I am so nervous for this what happens at the Nazi camp. I don't know. Apparently nothing bad because I come back and I'm fine and everything's good. But I'm still so nervous.
You certainly look fine, yeah.
Yeah, I look fine. Hopefully everything is fine. But we'll see on another... I don't know. It's driving me crazy. I feel more better than Sabella does right now, honestly, though. Because at least he's not in my head. Because... God damn it. But...
Yeah, we'll have to see how this all goes down. But
yeah, I don't know what Greg has planned,
right?
And has planned, and it terrifies me. But super excited for what happens next week. She's gonna Greta. She at first doubted the group a little bit with their arguments amongst themselves, but then by the time she got back to camp, they got their shit together. They had found stuff out. She's like, "Yeah, renewed energy here. Let's find this thing. Yeah, let's go back and get this done." Awesome. So Greta is definitely a bit less concerned about her defection now, because she was a bit worried about these Americans at first. But you can find me online at LaughLoveLindy, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. I run Dungeons and Dragons on my channel, video games, cosplay making. I will be on Wednesday on Call of Cthulhu on Encounter Roleplays channel with this guy, Craig, for the season finale, which we're probably not gonna die. I'm probably gonna cry, but it'll be fun. It'll be great. So. Love you all. Thank you guys so much for being an awesome cast. I love you all, even if Greta gets very frustrated with you all.
Guys, it has been a privilege and an honor to have you all go through 1933 with me. I say it before and I'll say it again. This, as much fun as it is playing with this group for the couple hours we do on Sunday, the real privilege and pleasure for me is being a part of this little life that they're creating the other 6 days of the week. It's fantastic to see the comments and the art and the suggestions and just the pictures of things from 1933 that everybody's kind of immersing themselves in is just fantastic. Even though I'm not privy to a lot of the secrety talks, I understand. But I love you all so much. I have so much fun playing this with you guys. I think this was the perfect first mission because it did not go smoothly. There was a lot of indecision. There was a lot of, maybe internal overthinking and speculation on my part and speculation on your all's part whenever it was coming through to different aspects of the mission, which is perfect because it does team building and it kind of forces role play as the characters. And whenever somebody, much like Allison says, man, I hate to do this, but if I'm going to role play my character, this is what happens. Those are fantastic parts. Everyone saw this. It's a fantastic cast. I am blessed to have them. Grimjack21502 on Twitch and Twitter. I'm just plugging this because it's great. Come back. Everybody, we'll see you in 2018. Take care of yourselves till then. We'll be here in 1933 thinking about how we can tell some more stories. Good night.